Chapter 190. Come out to die quickly. 4. People of the Long family, come out to die quickly. Coming. The old man was the first to speak. Everyone exchanged glances and rushed out of the study together. Lung Ruoxue and the others came to the general's mansion's courtyard, but the scene they saw surprised them. Dozens of figures were floating in the sky above the general's mansion. Su Xing was in the middle of everyone and looking down at them arrogantly as if they were dead, while those dozens of people were deliberately releasing their might. All of them were expressionless, and their eyes showed disdain as if they were looking at ants. This is bad. These people are actually spiritual deities. The old man's expression changed as he sent a voice transmission to everyone. Damn it. This Su Xing is really ruthless. He actually found so many spiritual deities to help. Even he felt a little strained under the pressure of these dozens of spiritual deities. Then what should we do now? Lin Liang's face was a little grim. The matter had clearly exceeded the scope of their control. Schwer. Lung Qingtian glanced at Lung Ruoxue. Lung Ruoxue nodded. She understood what her grandfather meant. He wanted her to take them all into the Heaven and Earth bracelet to prevent unnecessary losses. With this in mind, she secretly contacted Qingju. We can't fight them head-on. The only way now is to run. It's better than all of us dying here, the old man said after some thought. It was not wise to use eggs to hit rocks. They were smart people and wouldn't do such a foolish thing. Then run. You guys run first. They'll cover the rear. Lin Liang steeled himself. He was ready to die. What are you trying to show off for? You guys go first. They'll cover your retreat. The old man's words carried the most weight, and he rolled his eyes at Lin Liang, seemingly saying, Are you stronger than me? Who can escape with so many spiritual deities? Lung Qingtian asked in return. The old man and Lin Liang were instantly speechless. Yes, who could escape with so many spiritual deities around? But should they just sit and wait for death like this? That wasn't their style. Since we can't run away, then we'll fight it out with them. Little girl, find an opportunity to run by yourself, the old man said resolutely after thinking about it. Yes, Ruoxue and Yichun, you two run when you have the chance. Don't worry about us, Lin Liang echoed. Shut up, you two. Well, listen to Schwer, Lung Qingtian said domineeringly. Lung Ruoxue was a little touched as she listened to the voice transmissions of the three old men. It seemed that she had good insight. At least, other than her grandfather, Grandpa Lin and the old man were not afraid of death. Moreover, they were still willing to risk their lives to help the others retreat first in such a dangerous situation. You had to know that the more dangerous it was, the more it tested a person's heart. Qingju, Lung Ruoxue called out in her head. Big sister, I'm ready. Qingju replied from the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Lung Ruoxue nodded slightly. Then with a thought, she immediately brought everyone present into the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Huh, where is this place? The old man and Lin Liang looked at the suddenly changed environment. Obviously, they couldn't adapt for a while, but they clearly felt that the spiritual pressure released by the spiritual deities had all disappeared, and the spiritual energy here was so dense. This is Schwer's space. We are safe now, Lung Qingtian explained. Fortunately, Schwer had this heaven-defying space. Otherwise, they would all be dead meat today. Ruoxue's space? The little girl's space? Lin Liang and the old man spoke in unison, their faces full of surprise and disbelief. In contrast, Yichun was much calmer, and he was currently plucking fruit from a tree to eat. Master left it for me, Lung Ruoxue explained calmly as she picked a fruit from a tree. Master? Ruoxue, I've never heard that you have a master, Lin Liang said curiously. He's dead, Lung Ruoxue said sadly. She would definitely avenge her master if she had the chance. I'm sorry. I didn't know, Lin Liang said, a little embarrassed. Damn it. Why am I so curious? It's okay, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. Old man, where did you get that fruit? Lin Liang turned his head and saw the old man holding an unknown fruit the size of 2 adult fists. He was gnawing on it, and the juice of the fruit was flowing down the corner of his mouth. From a tree, of course. The old man pointed at the fruit trees not far away, as if it was obvious. The fruit was really delicious, and there was so much spiritual energy inside that it was scary. "Old man, why don't you?" Lin Liang was about to say, "Why don't you know any manners?" when he realized that everyone except him was gnawing on a fruit. "Hey, Brat Lin, relax. We just escaped from death. Don't be so nervous. Since this is the little girl's territory, why should we be polite?" The old man didn't treat himself as an outsider at all. Moreover, he adapted quickly and was obviously not too curious. Upon hearing this, Lin Liang was speechless. It had even become his fault? "Master, you don't have to be so polite." Long Ruhan emerged from the purple bamboo house and chuckled. "Ruhan, I didn't know you were here. I thought—" Lin Liang looked at his beloved disciple with a face full of joy. "I've been staying here since you sent everyone away," Long Ruhan explained. There were Qingju and so many cute beasts here, so he didn't feel lonely at all. "Ruhan, I thought I would never have the chance to see you again," Lin Liang said excitedly while holding Long Ruhan's hand. Long Ruhan and his master were catching up while the others were eating fruits and observing the situation outside. At this time, the general's mansion was in a mess. Su Xing and the others, who had thought victory was in their hands, saw Long Ruoxue and the others suddenly disappear in the blink of an eye, and they were utterly depressed. Chapter 191. Luring the enemy into an urn. 1. Where did they go? Su Xing muttered to himself furiously. He had come excitedly with his helpers, but not only did he not kill a single person, but Long Ruoxue and the others had disappeared instead. He was so depressed. Could they have invisibility sacred artifacts? A spiritual deity guest. Is that possible? Su Xing couldn't believe it. Why hadn't he heard of sacred artifacts that could turn things invisible? How is that impossible? "You're too ignorant," the spiritual deity said disdainfully. "The level of this dimension isn't as high as ours, so it's normal that he doesn't know." Another spiritual deity interrupted, helping Su Xing out. "What should we do now?" Su Xing looked at the spiritual deity who spoke up for him with gratitude. "Find them. I don't believe they can escape so quickly." Even though there were invisibility sacred artifacts, given the strength of those people, it was almost impossible to leave the general's mansion without alerting them. Okay. A few spiritual deities immediately went to search the general's mansion. Inside the heaven and earth bracelet. "Little girl, will they find us?" The old man couldn't help asking. It was not that he was afraid of death, but the disparity in their strength would be very disadvantageous to them if they faced them head-on. "No, don't worry." Long Ruoxue comforted. Where did Su Xing find so many spiritual deities? Long Qingtian asked in puzzlement. Yes, isn't there supposed to be no spiritual deities on the Lingfeng continent? Long Ruoxue was also a little puzzled. From what she knew, the strongest humans on the Lingfeng continent now were spiritual supremacies. Spiritual deities seem to have disappeared for 1,000 years. They're not from the Lingfeng continent at all. The old man snorted coldly with contempt. He really didn't expect Su Xing to be able to contact people from the upper realm. This Su family is really a disaster. You mean? Long Qingtian suddenly understood. Grandpa, what's the matter? Swear, the reason why there are no spiritual deities on the Lingfeng continent is that the spiritual deities have all gone to another dimension. To put it simply, after becoming a spiritual deity, they will ascend to a higher dimension. These people should have descended from that dimension, Long Qingtian explained. These things were recorded in the Long family's genealogy. But if not for the old man's reminder, he really wouldn't have remembered. He had also never told Shuer and Ruhan about these things because they were still young. Can people from higher dimensions descend as they please? Long Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. The Lingfeng continent was not the only space in the universe. She had heard from her master as well, but she remembered that her master had also said that people from higher-level dimensions couldn't enter lower-level dimensions at will. Otherwise, it would cause spatial chaos, and at the same time, they would be obliterated by the heaven and earth laws. Then these people? Of course not. If they could descend casually, then wouldn't the Lingfeng continent be the backyard of those powerhouses? The old man said, didn't they descend? Little girl, if those people want to come to the Lingfeng continent, they will have to pay a massive price. Moreover, these people are only spiritual deities. Spiritual deities might be the top powerhouses on the Lingfeng continent, but they are only at the bottom of the hierarchy in the upper realm. More importantly, the heaven and earth laws don't allow powerhouses above spiritual deity to enter the Lingfeng continent. Otherwise, why do you think the Su family only sent these spiritual deities down? The old man explained patiently. He believed that no one knew more details than him on the entire Lingfeng continent. Lung Ruoxue nodded. Although the Su family had only sent spiritual deities, they were not existences she could deal with at her current stage. When she thought of this, a sense of frustration welled up in her heart. During this time, it had been too smooth sailing for her, and she almost didn't encounter any setbacks. But the appearance of these people woke her up, letting her know that she wasn't omnipotent nor the strongest. But at the same time, these people aroused her intense fighting spirit. Because if she couldn't even defeat these people, then not to mention the strongest enemies she would have to face in the future, she probably wouldn't even be able to protect her loved ones. Through the heaven and earth bracelet, Long Ruox's beautiful eyes coldly sized up the spiritual deities wantonly destroying the general's mansion, and she remembered their appearances. As the saying went, it was never too late to seek revenge. She might not be their match now, but it didn't mean that she would never be able to deal with them. How is it? Did you find them? A spiritual deity asked his partner in the general's mansion. There isn't even a fly, a spiritual deity said and cursed nonstop. Seniors, we have to find them. We can't let them run away, Su Xing said anxiously. Of course we have to find them, but we can't find them now, a spiritual deity in black said impatiently. Su Xing, do you have any good ideas? I have an idea. We can't find them, but we can force them out. Su Xing felt that his idea was really too good. How do we force them? A spiritual deity asked. How could they force them when there wasn't even the shadow of a single person in the huge general's mansion? We can use the commoners of Phoenix City to force them to show themselves, Su Xing suggested after some thought. The commoners of Phoenix City aren't related to the general's mansion, so they wouldn't be in their consideration. If it were you, would you come out? Someone said while looking at Su Xing like he was an idiot. Lung Qingtian is a great general after all. I don't dare to say it for others, but he definitely won't leave those ordinary people alone, Su Xing said with great certainty, his face full of confidence. Let's give it a try then, the spiritual deity said in agreement. Afterward, Su Xing led dozens of spiritual deities out of the general's mansion, which they had gained nothing from, gloomily toward the busiest street in Phoenix City. These people are too despicable. Long Qingtian roared furiously within the bracelet. Old Long, calm down. Aren't you just doing what they want? Lin Liang walked to Long Qingshan's side and comforted him. Chapter 192. Luring the enemy into an urn, 2. Then what should we do? Lung Qingtian glared at Lin Liang with some displeasure. Su Xing was right that he really cared about the lives of ordinary people. Unfortunately, what Su Xing didn't know was that he, Lung Qingtian, cared more about the safety of his loved ones and friends. Although those people were innocent, he couldn't be so noble as to endanger his family and friends for strangers. He was also selfish. Don't worry. Let's discuss a good plan, the old man said. They really didn't know what Su Xing was thinking. He actually planned to use ordinary people to threaten them. In fact, at their level, how many of them would be soft-hearted, whose hands were not stained with blood? Moreover, they could even sacrifice relatives if necessary. So what were these commoners? It's definitely not wise to go out to die while knowing that they're threatening us, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. However, I can go out and lure them away, Lung Ruoxue continued. It was impossible to send her family and friends to their deaths because of strangers. But if the commoners were persecuted because of them, it was also not the outcome they wanted to see. She could leave them in the lurch, but she didn't want anyone to be hurt because of her. She was also very conflicted about this. No way, the few people present said in unison. Even the beasts that slowly surrounded her had disapproval written all over their faces. Master, I won't let you out. The little black fox jumped into Long Ruox's arms coquettishly. Yes, master. It's too dangerous outside. Don't go out. Rise said as he wrapped himself around Long Ruox's wrist. Master, Charm will be worried. Charm also jumped into Long Ruox's arms. The people outside were all spiritual deities of similar strength to them, but they outnumbered them by more than twofold. With such a huge disparity in combat strength, it would be wise to hide and wait for the right opportunity. Master. The word worry was written in Quill's sharp eyes. Don't be so nervous. I'm just going out to lure them away. If there's any danger, they'll come in immediately, Long Ruoxue explained. She probably wouldn't have such thoughts if not for the heaven and earth bracelet. In that case, we'll go out with you, the old man said after some thought. He couldn't let the little girl go out alone. Instead of worrying about her inside, it would be better to go with her. No, you stay inside. If too many people go out, we will become separated. We won't be able to take care of each other then, and it will be easy for problems to arise. Long Ruoxue denied the old man's idea. Okay, all of you stay inside. I definitely have to go with Schwer, Freak said seriously, while chewing on a spirit fruit. Schwer better forget about leaving me behind. You stay inside too, Long Ruoxue said unquestionably. Schwer. Freak looked at Long Ruoxue aggrievedly with tears shining in his eyes. Don't play dirty, Long Ruoxue said without any room for negotiation, and immediately left the heaven and earth bracelet. Then Long Ruoxue summoned Quill. Quill, let's go lure those people away. This is the only thing we can do for the innocent commoners now. Long Ruoxue sat on Quill's back and patted his giant eagle head gently. Yes, master. Quill nodded happily. He flapped his huge wings as he jumped into the air. He knew that his master wouldn't leave him behind. What's so great about him? Isn't it just a pair of wings? Dazzle said with a face full of envy in the bracelet. Boo-hoo. Why don't I have wings? If I could fly, Master wouldn't have called that stinky bird out. That's right. Actually, I can fly too, but Master has never asked me to fly. She only calls that annoying bird. Rise complained. He also grew a pair of wings after advancing to Divine Beast. But unfortunately, his master had never used him once. Boo-hoo. Master doesn't love me anymore. Charm, who had always been composed and understanding, said with some disappointment. Schwer is mine. Yichun roared furiously as he looked at the beasts wallowing in self-pity. Master is ours, the beasts shouted in unison, unwilling to be outdone. Lung Qingtian and the others had a few black lines on their foreheads as they listened to the conversation between Yichun and the beasts. Alas, the enemies outside were eyeing them, yet they were fighting within. Outside the heaven and earth bracelet, Quill carried Long Ruoxue and quickly caught up to Su Xing and the others. Su Xing, are you looking for me? Long Ruoxue stood on Quill's back in midair, facing Su Xing and the others. Oomph. A puny little spiritual sovereign actually dares to be so arrogant, Su Xing said disdainfully, while looking at Long Ruoxue with hatred. That's better than exploiting the might of others. Long Ruoxue said with a light smile, neither irritated nor angry. Long Ruoxue, you're dead meat. I won't let you go. Su Xing roared in anger, his eyes shooting out raging flames. Really? I really want to know why you won't let me go. Long Ruoxue deliberately provoked. You? Su Xing couldn't take it anymore. He was about to rush over and kill Long Ruoxue when someone stopped him. Young Master said that Long Ruoxue can't be killed, said the person who stopped Su Xing expressionlessly. Senior, don't worry. I won't kill her. I just want to teach her a lesson so that her claws don't hurt Grandpa, Su Xing explained. Don't hurt her face. The man warned coldly before retracting his arm, no longer stopping him. Thank you for granting my wish, Senior. Su Xing bowed gratefully. It seemed like his efforts during this period had finally paid off. Otherwise, why would these people be so easygoing? Long Ruoxue, take this. Just as Su Xing was about to use his frosty palm, he saw the eagle flying away with Long Ruoxue. He was so angry. Chase, someone said. Su Xing and the others released their flying spirit beasts to chase after Long Ruoxue. Quill, fly slower, Long Ruoxue said very kindly. These people might be spiritual deities, but it was obvious that they didn't do well in the upper realm. Otherwise, why would their spiritual beasts be inferior to hers? Chapter 193. Luring the enemy into an urn. 3. Yes, master. Quill flapped his wings gently and slowed down. Moreover, he would look back from time to time. If he saw those people catching up, he would increase his speed. Otherwise, he would fly slowly. Hurry, hurry up. We're about to catch up, Su Xing said anxiously, while constantly hitting his spirit beast. They were about to catch up just now, but in the blink of an eye, Long Ruoxue escaped again. Su Xing was incomparably depressed. Just like that, Su Xing and the others chased after her until they forced her into an uninhabited valley. Long Ruoxue, let's see where you can run to now. Su Xing laughed arrogantly. His face had a triumphant expression, and his sinister and vicious eyes released a bloodthirsty glare. Who said I was going to run away? Can't you see that I was specially waiting for you? Long Ruoxue said mockingly while glancing at Su Xing like he was an idiot. Continue being stubborn. There will be a time when you cry later, Su Xing said nonchalantly. Alas, no one believes the truth. What kind of world is this? Long Ruoxue said helplessly, but she was communicating with her grandfather and the others in the bracelet. Grandpa, do you have any plans? Long Ruoxue asked in her head. Swear, there are 11 people outside now, including Su Xing, right? Lung Qingtian asked to confirm. Yes, a bunch of people are missing. I don't know where they went, Long Ruoxue said. When she stopped Su Xing and the others just now, she found that nearly half the people were gone. Afterward, she lured these people here according to what her grandfather said. Swear, it's a good opportunity for us now that they are not at full strength. As long as we kill them here, we will be safer when we find an opportunity to get rid of the others, Lung Qingtian explained. They wouldn't dare to take this risk if they didn't have so many divine beasts on their side. Okay. Lung Ruoxue also felt that this was a good opportunity. Otherwise, when everyone from Su Xing's side was here, they really wouldn't be their opponents. Lung Ruoxue died. Su Xing slowly activated his frosty palm, ready to strike at any moment. Do you think you're the only one with help, and I don't? With a thought, Lung Ruoxue released her grandfather and the others, as well as all their beasts. Haha, you cowards are finally willing to show yourselves? Su Xing laughed hysterically when he saw Long Qingtian and the others appear. He was really afraid that they would never dare to show themselves again. As for the cute and fluffy beasts, he automatically ignored them. You still don't know who the coward is? You only knew how to hide in a mouse hole without help, but you start being cocky when you find help. Be careful. Joy begets sadness, the old man said. It was fine when the old man was silent, but Su Xing was almost angered to death as soon as he spoke. Damn it, you old thing. State your name if you have the guts. Su Xing glared furiously, wanting to skin this old man from God knows where alive. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Do it. Lin Liang was getting impatient. He had never felt so aggrieved in his life. Charm, they'll leave those people to you, Long Ruoxue said softly as she caressed Charm's soft and fluffy fur. Charm nodded as his luxurious purple eyes scanned the spiritual deities, just watching the excitement. He wanted to test the strength of the human spiritual deities. Humans, I want to see whether spiritual deities or us divine beasts are better today, Charm said indifferently. His noble and elegant temperament simply made people feel ashamed of their inferiority. Haha, did we hear you wrong? A palm-sized little fox like you actually dares to call yourself a divine beast? A spiritual deity laughed out loud without giving face after hearing what Charm said. There were not many divine beasts in their world, so he didn't believe at all that this fox could be one. You will regret underestimating your enemy, Charm said calmly. He had decided that this guy would be his opponent. After deciding on his opponent, Charm turned to look at his companions and communicated silently before directly flying at the human spiritual deity who despised him. Leave that ugly short fatty to me, Dazzle said. Then he shook his fluffy little tail and dashed toward his opponent. Then I want that thin monkey, Rise said reluctantly. He had also taken a liking to the short fatty, but a certain other beast beat him to it, so he could only choose another unique one to make do with. I want the one with black hair. Quill chose for a long time. No matter how he looked, He couldn't stand the sight of the man with thick, black hair. After all, he was also black and had feathers. Long Ruashua listened to the discussions of her beasts. Wow, must my beasts be so cute? Ruashua, your beasts have character. Lin Liang praised. Hee, did you just realize it? Lung Qingtian smiled proudly. His granddaughter's beasts were very interesting. Thunder Knight, you should go too. Lung Qingtian turned his head and said to his beast. Yes, master, Thunder Knight replied and then flew out, heading straight for the opponent he chose. You guys go too. Don't embarrass master, the old man and Lin Liang said to their beasts. Yes, master. The two beasts heard their master's words and rushed to their opponents eagerly. The three of us will deal with the remaining spiritual deity. Leave Su Xing to Ruashua and Yichun. Lin Liang said to the old man and Long Qingtian while looking at the remaining two people. All right, little girl. They'll leave that old thing to you, the old man shouted while staring at Su Xing. Long Ruashua glanced at Su Xing and said indifferently, Okay, leave this old bastard to us. Damn girl, I won't let you go. Su Xing roared in anger. He was really pissed off. He was a spiritual supremacy after all, but he was humiliated by a little girl. How could he take this lying down? At this point, he only wanted to kill Long Ruashua to vent his anger, and he had long forgotten what the young master had said. Chapter 194, Deliberately Complicating an Issue, Accident 1. After roaring, Su Xing directly threw out his ready frosty palm at Long Ruashua. The strong wind from his palm, accompanied by a piercing chill, drifted in the valley. While the frosty palm was flying toward her, Long Ruashua released her fire attribute spiritual power at the same time. A tremendous amount of fire attribute spiritual power blocked in front of her, forming a wall. Freak also used his black spiritual power to welcome Su Xing's frosty palm without fear. Su Xing had used at least 90% of his spiritual power in this strike, causing the already low temperature in the valley to fall even lower. The people and beasts fighting around them naturally felt the cold, and Long Ruashua and Yichun felt it even more directly. So cold. Long Ruashua, who was in the wind, couldn't help exclaiming. Fortunately, the fire attribute spiritual power she released dispelled part of the coldness. Otherwise, this strike alone could have frozen her into ice. Between him and Charm, I wonder who's better at ice skills? She couldn't help feeling a little curious. Schwer, I'll give you some warmth. Freak stretched out his long arms and shielded Long Ruashua in his arms, casually taking advantage of her. You adulterous couple. I won't let you go. You're all dead. Su Xing looked at Long Ruashua and Yichun, who were still flirting and teasing each other in the middle of the battle. He was so angry. Adulterous couple? Freak, is he talking about us? Long Ruashua asked with a confused expression, but she didn't delay at all and released her spiritual skills one after another. Feather of the Fire Phoenix. Blazing Tree Silver Flower. Long Ruashua threw the spiritual skills out regardless of whether they were single target or group attacks. Whether they were fire, water, or wind spiritual skills, as long as they were offensive ones, she threw them at Su Xing. For a time, colorful spiritual powers flashed dazzlingly in the sky of the entire valley. Opposite them, Su Xing was jumping around in a sorry state, and sparks were flying from his body. All sorts of spiritual powers surrounded him, seemingly teasing him and attacking him from time to time. We are not adulterers. We are legal. Schwer, when are you going to give me a title? The freakingly beautiful face was full of anticipation, and his watery black eyes blinked non-stop. While speaking, he didn't stop what he was doing and released a ball of black spiritual power to liven things up after seeing how Su Xing was in such a sorry state and hopping about. With the addition of the ball of black spiritual power, Su Xing seemed to be in an even more pathetic state. The spiritual powers seemed to have discussed it over and switched with each other alternately to attack him. You, what kind of evil spiritual skills are these? Fight me one-on-one if you dare. Su Xing provoked loudly. Freak, he wants us to fight him one-on-one. You shameless old man. You brought so many people to kill us, but you still have the cheek to get us to fight one-on-one? Freak said with a face full of scorn. That's right, you old monster. Don't you have any shame? The old man, who was fighting with a spiritual deity, couldn't help interjecting to agree. Freak, let's not play with him anymore. Let's end this quickly. Lung Ruoxue said. Okay. He nodded. A ball of black spiritual power gathered in his palm again. He held the black spiritual power ball and said softly, Go. Destroy him. The spiritual power seemed to understand. It jumped twice slightly, then charged at Su Xing at the speed of light and disappeared into his body. At the same time, Su Xing also unleashed his second and third strikes, attacking Long Ruoxue and Freak. After 2 consecutive strikes, the temperature in the valley plummeted several degrees lower than before, and a layer of ice even formed over the surrounding mountains. Little girl, kill him quickly. It's so cold. The old man yelled, finding it a little unbearable. Boo-hoo. He was getting old, so he was most afraid of the cold. All right. Freak, move aside. Freak obediently took a few steps back and gave up his spot to Schwer. Lung Ruoxue took out her sharp sword, which gleamed coldly. Su Xing, they'll let you have a taste of my meteor sword technique. Feather of the Fire Phoenix. After Long Ruoxue integrated Feather of the Fire Phoenix into her sword technique, its power increased several times. A silvery white light with a burning tail feather rapidly flew towards Su Xing. The spiritual phoenix feather circled Su Xing twice, then divided into countless feathers of the same size and began to circle Su Xing. Su Xing dodged left and right. After evading the feather, he didn't even have the chance to show off before he realized that the feather was splitting and becoming more and more numerous. What's going on? Su Xing was instantly dumbfounded. The small phoenix feathers didn't give Su Xing any chance to react and prepare to unleash his fourth strike. Instead, they directly surrounded him from head to toe. In an instant, Su Xing became a fiery man. Aha! A blood-curdling scream resounded from the Human Torch. A few seconds later, the Human Torch fell to the ground. On the other side of the battlefield, the beasts were still engaged in a fierce battle with their enemies. You damn beast! I'm going to kill you. The spiritual deity fighting Charm roared in anger. This damn fox actually killed his spirit beast. He wouldn't let it go. You are the beast. A giant fox more than 10 meters tall said calmly. Charm was currently in his strongest combat state, and the human spiritual deity was like a dwarf compared to him. Have a taste of my ice purgatory, Charm said and sent a stream of ice attribute spiritual power toward the spiritual deity. The cold was bone-piercing, and in the blink of an eye, the spiritual deity was frozen into a human-shaped ice sculpture. At this point, the battles of the other beasts were almost over, and only Long Qingshan's group was still fighting on the battlefield. Master, do you need my help? Thunder Knight said a little worriedly while watching the battle. In a fight of the same level, humans wouldn't be able to defeat spirit beasts, so their opponents were almost too weak to withstand a single blow. But their master's opponent was stronger than their master's, so it seemed a little strenuous. Chapter 195. Deliberately Complicating an Issue. Accident 2. No need. Lung Qingtian replied. How could they let such a good opportunity slip by? Even though this guy was stronger than them and had an advantage in level, the pressure of a spiritual deity was still bearable for them. While releasing heavenly spiritual skills, Long Qingtian kept throwing numerous spiritual power recovery pills into his mouth. The old man and Lin Liang did the same. You are despicable. The spiritual deity fighting with them had never seen anyone taking pills like this. He was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. You are the despicable ones. We're just giving you a taste of your own medicine, Lin Liang said nonchalantly. It was good to have an alchemist by their side. Otherwise, who would dare to eat pills this way? Fatal blow! The old man suddenly shouted when he saw that the time was ripe. Okay. Lung Qingtian and Lin Liang were ready at the same time. After receiving the signal from the old man's eyes, they simultaneously launched their strongest attacks. Divine Flame Blade, Wind Blade Slash, Light of Water, Red, Green, and light blue spiritual power simultaneously attacked the only living spiritual deity. As soon as the three spiritual powers entered the spiritual deity's body, they began to engage in a relentless battle within his body. Cracking sounds resounded from the spiritual deity's body. The spiritual deity had a pained expression as his face turned red, then green, and finally blue. "Aha!" the spiritual deity screamed in pain. Immediately afterward, the spiritual deity's body exploded into smithereens with a bang. "Ah, we finally succeeded. It really wasn't easy," the old man said with a face full of emotion. He originally thought they were dead for sure, but things took an unexpected turn. Not only did they not die, but they even killed half of the opponents. How lucky. Yes, it was truly too harrowing. Let's slowly deal with the remaining people when we have the chance. Lin Liang wiped the sweat off his forehead. Fighting with the spiritual deity was really exhausting. Fortunately, they had those pills. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to kill the spiritual deity. Fortunately, those people separated. Long Qingtian echoed. "Little girl, let's clean up the battlefield." Although these spiritual deities seemed poor, they might have some things we can use. The old man took off the storage ring of a spiritual deity and scanned it with his divine sense. His face instantly turned very ugly. "What's the matter?" Long Qingtian was puzzled. He took the ring from the old man's hand, glanced at it, and immediately fell silent. "These guys were poorer than I imagined," the old man explained as Lin Liang looked at them with a questioning gaze. "Then, should we still clean up?" Lin Liang asked after a pause. "Of course. These are our spoils of war," Long Qingtian said after some thought. He reckoned that the old man and Lin Liang would follow them in the future. How much would it cost to support so many people? Thinking of this, he couldn't help having a headache. Okay. After hearing what Long Qingtian said, everyone and the beasts went to clean up the battlefield and destroy the evidence. Seeing that everyone was helping out, Long Ruoxue began observing the uninhabited valley alone. The valley was about 30 to 40 meters deep, and there was no end to it at a glance. Moreover, it was surrounded by mountains, and the temperature was several degrees lower than outside. Most importantly, the soundproofing here was good, so much so that no sound escaped despite their intense battle just now. This place is really a good place. Schwer, be careful. Ruoxue, little girl. Master. Long Ruoxue suddenly heard everyone's voice. She was about to turn around when she saw Su Xing, who was charred all over, rushing toward her like a madman. It turned out that Su Xing had been pretending to be dead and had gathered his remaining spiritual power in his palm when no one was looking, planning to deliver a fatal blow to Long Ruoxue. Su Xing actually didn't die? Long Ruoxue was shocked, but before she could react, Su Xing had already attacked her. Suddenly, a tall figure shielded Long Ruoxue and blocked Su Xing's palm for her. Immediately after, several streams of spiritual power rushed over at the same time and hit Su Xing together. Su Xing's body softened and fell to the ground. This time, he was really dead. Freak. Long Ruoxue screamed in fear as she hugged Freak, who was falling nonstop. Sparkling tears poured out of her eyes uncontrollably, and her heart suddenly felt empty, as though she had lost something important. "Schwer, my Schwer, don't cry. Don't cry. It'll be fine." Freak wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and comforted her. Schwer was crying for him. He was so happy, but his heart ached too. "Yes, you will be fine. I won't allow anything to happen to you," Long Ruoxue said domineeringly while hugging Freak tightly. "Schwer, I'm so cold," Freak whispered. Su Xing's frosty palm was really vicious. He felt as though there was an ice blade cutting his body. Fortunately, it hit him. Otherwise, Schwer's tender skin and flesh wouldn't have been able to bear it. "I will hold you and won't let you be cold." Long Ruoxue hugged Freak even more tightly as her tears fell drop by drop like pearls. "Let me see." The old man came to their side and frowned. Then he grabbed one of Yichin's hands to check. "How is it?" Long Qingtian and the others, who were farther away, arrived. "The frost poison entering the body is really too poisonous," the old man said softly and shook his head gently. Alas, there was no hope. This was the vicious part of the Sioux family's frosty palm. After being hit by its frost poison, Ice Attribute's spiritual power would take the opportunity to enter the body and wreak havoc on the body's functions. Moreover, Su Xing had just used a technique that would cause an internecine outcome. So, after hearing what the old man said, Long Qingtian, Lin Liang, and the beasts all felt unusually heavy. Alas, it was originally a perfect plan, but who knew that such an accident would happen? This was really... Chapter 196, Deliberately Complicating an Issue, Accident 3, Freak. Freak, wake up. Don't leave me. Long Ruoxue screamed in agony when she saw the unconscious Freak. Her heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. Shuer, calm down. He's already. Long Qingtian couldn't continue. He checked Yichin's breathing just now, but it was already gone. He only fainted. I will heal him. I won't let him leave me. Long Ruoxue hugged Freak's body and returned to the heaven and earth bracelet with a thought. Shuer, Big Brother will help you. Long Ruhan's heart ached when he saw his sister's desperate look. He hurriedly took the freezing Yichun from Long Ruoxue. Thank you, Big Brother. Please help me carry him into the purple bamboo house. Long Ruoxue said abnormally calmly. Long Ruhan nodded. Carrying Yichin's cold body, he entered the purple bamboo house and placed him on the jade bed inside. Big Brother, thanks. I want to be alone with Freak, Long Ruoxue said lightly. Okay, then Big Brother will go out, Long Ruhan said helplessly. Alas, Shuer's current appearance really worried him. In his heart, it was better that Shuer cried or threw a tantrum than being so calm. Ruhan, how is Shuer? Long Qingtian asked worriedly after returning to the heaven and earth bracelet. Very bad, Long Ruhan said honestly. He didn't want to scare his grandfather, but Shuer's current condition was really not good. Alas, how did this happen? How did Su Xing survive? Shuer's flames are extraordinary. Long Qingtian was puzzled. I once heard that the Su family seems to have a secret technique that can fake death. Moreover, the Su family primarily uses Ice Attribute's spiritual power. I think he used Ice Attribute's spiritual power to freeze himself and then fake death, Lin Liang explained. He actually thought that the Su family's secret technique was a joke when he had heard it. He didn't expect it to really exist. Let's go out and kill the remaining spiritual deities to vent our anger for the little girl, the old man suggested. Alas, he was anxious because he couldn't help. If killing them will bring Yichin back to life, they'll go now, Long Qingtian said furiously. Then what do you suggest we do? The old man frowned aggrievedly. Of course, we have to keep an eye on Shuer. What if she can't think things through? Long Qingtian said worriedly. Even if a knife was hanging over his head, he wouldn't leave his granddaughter now. Inside the purple bamboo house, Long Ruoxue stood motionlessly by the side of Freak, who was beginning to freeze. Tears kept welling up in her eyes. In fact, she knew very well that he was dead. Freak. Long Ruoxue couldn't help calling out softly. The situation when she first saw him was still deeply etched in her mind. She remembered the first time she saw him. She had a premonition that this guy was definitely in big trouble, and the fact was that she was right. She had seen many men in her 2 lifetimes, but this was the first time she had seen a person being so coquettish, even though she knew very well that his coquettish behavior was only for her. In front of outsiders, Freak was definitely devious and terrifying. Freak liked to act coquettishly, liked to be jealous, liked to take advantage of her from time to time, liked. All the memories relating to him were still so clear at this moment. It turned out that Freak had already entered her heart unknowingly, but she knew nothing about it. All along, she had thought that she only regarded him as one of her own. But she knew that it wasn't true today. Freak had unknowingly occupied her heart a long time ago. But why? It was only when he left her did she know how important he was to her. Why? Why? It wasn't until she lost him that she realized she loved him. Boo-hoo! At this point, her tears rolled down uncontrollably. Freak, I love you, Long Ruoxue murmured. But, Freak, you haven't said you love me to me. So you can't leave me like this. I won't allow it. Freak. I will find you no matter where your soul goes. Freak. Am very overbearing and possessive. Don't even think about leaving me since I've discovered my feelings for you. Freak. You are mine whether you're alive or dead. You can only be mine whether you live or die. Got it? Freak. Wait for me obediently. Wait for me to find you. Outside the purple bamboo house. It's been so many days. I wonder what Schwer is doing now. The word worry was written all over Long Qingshan's face as he paced back and forth. Grandpa, big sister is fine. Trust me, Qingju quickly comforted. He had always been in control of the situation in the purple bamboo house. Big sister hasn't taken things too hard. It's just alas. In short, it's still all right. Old Long, don't worry since Qingju said so. Outsiders like us can't help with matters of the heart. Ruoxue can only rely on herself to think things through, Lin Liang said helplessly. Ruoxue alone was enough to make them worry, but Old Long actually added to the trouble. But it's been 10 days without eating or drinking. Lung Qingtian couldn't help saying, Grandpa, trust Schwer. Lung Ruhan walked to his grandfather's side to console him. Damn old man. All you know is to eat. 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 Lung Qingtian couldn't help cursing when he turned his head and saw the old man gorging himself again. What do you know? It's called turning grief and indignation into appetite. The old man boasted shamelessly. Alas, he was also worried about the little girl. But he couldn't think of a better way, so he could only vent by eating. Quill is back, Qingju said suddenly. When the two old men saw Quill return, they stopped quarreling and quickly asked, Quill, what's happening outside now? Most of the Ling Feng continent has already been occupied by those spiritual deities. Moreover, the Hua family and the Feng family also suffered heavy casualties, Quill explained. Those people were really too arrogant. They had already eliminated all the forces unwilling to rely on and pledge allegiance to them on the Ling Feng continent. Chapter 197. Deliberately Complicating an Issue. Accident. 4. What about the Eastern Lagoon Empire? There are no countries on the Ling Feng continent anymore. The old man fell silent after hearing what Quill said. Think about it. Those things are just worldly possessions. At least your descendants are still safe now, Lung Qingtian comforted. I know. The old man nodded. Even though he had been prepared for this, he was still a little sad when he heard it. After all, it was the foundation of his Li family. Alas, it's a mess. Lin Liang sighed helplessly. In a commoner house in a remote town in the north of the Ling Feng continent, Feng Moran and others were hiding here. Deputy Leader Feng, what's happening outside? As soon as Feng Moran returned from inquiring about the news, the people waiting anxiously in the house surrounded him. The situation isn't good. Feng Moran's slightly tired face was full of worry. What about my family's old master and young miss? Lu Tao asked worriedly while holding Feng Moran's sleeve tightly. They're missing, and those spiritual deities have been looking for them. But I heard that they haven't been found. I think they should be safe now, Feng Moran quickly consoled. Big brother, how is the Feng family now? Feng Aoran asked anxiously. Gone. Feng Moran said with mixed feelings. Even though the Feng family hadn't treated him well, they were relatives related to him by blood. When he first heard this news, he felt very uncomfortable. Gone. Feng Aoran was stunned for a while. When he recovered, he grabbed Feng Moran's arm tightly and said anxiously, Big brother, you're lying to me, right? The Feng family has the first elder and grandpa. How can they be gone? It's impossible. Impossible. Aoran, those people are spiritual deities, the top existences on the Ling Feng continent. Feng Moran didn't know how to console his brother because he knew that Aoran definitely had deeper feelings for the Feng family than he did. Aoran, calm down. You still have Big brother. I will take care of you, Feng Moran continued. Big brother. Tears streamed down Feng Aoran's face as he threw himself into Feng Moran's arms and cried bitterly. The Anaconda mercenary group is here. Feng De shouted as he ran in from outside. Big brother Feng De, what should we do now? Lu Tao was a little flustered. The Anaconda mercenary group had long sought refuge with the spiritual deities. Moreover, the Anaconda mercenary group knew their identities, so they had been pursuing them relentlessly. Hurry up and find a place to hide. Leave those scumbags to me and Deputy Leader Fong. Fong De hurriedly made arrangements. Their young lady was missing, so he had the duty and responsibility to protect the safety of these people. He couldn't let down their young lad's trust. After hearing what Fong De said, everyone in the yard quickly found a place to hide, lest they drag the two of them down. Fong De, you're quite good at hiding. The voice of Zhang Jian, the young master of the Anaconda mercenary group, sounded from outside the yard. Zhang Jian, you are a dog of the Su family. Why didn't you obediently lick your master's ass, but instead come out to stroll around? Fong De said with disdain and mockery. Damn it, who did you say is a dog? Zhang Jian roared furiously as he walked into the yard. Is there anyone else here besides you? Fong De's shrewd eyes scanned the surroundings, looking for other people. Fong De, you are dead for sure. But I will spare your life if you tell me the whereabouts of Long Ruoxue and the others, Zhang Jian said in a seemingly magnanimous manner. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Fong De said nonchalantly. Then die. Go, kill them both. Zhang Jian roared and took the lead to attack Fong De while his subordinates attacked Fong Moran. Zhang Jian, is this all you've got? Fong De easily dodged Zhang Jian's attack and attacked with his backhand. He infused his spiritual power into his hand and slashed at Zhang Jian. Zhang Jian was slow to react and was cut. Just you wait. Zhang Jian roared with killing intent in his eyes. Come out, Black Dragon. With Zhang Jian's roar, a huge black python appeared in front of everyone. The python's enormous body stood upright, almost covering the entire yard. His fierce and cold eyes stared at Fong De and Fong Moran. Fong De and Fong Moran smiled at each other in tacit understanding. Fire Dragon, come out and meet this black dragon, Fong De said with eyes full of smiles. Master, I'm here. With that, a gigantic fiery red beast jumped out and occupied the entire sky above the yard. Heavens, what is this? Someone from the Anaconda mercenary group murmured in disbelief. Is this a dragon? A real dragon? Another person said dumbfoundedly. No, that's impossible. No one can contract with a dragon. Zhang Jian was even more unwilling to believe what he was seeing. Fong De was only a captain of their mercenary group in the past. How could he have a dragon as a spirit beast? This was too much of a shock for him. The black python was equally agitated. The arrogance he had when he first emerged immediately faded when he saw the real dragon. Boo-hoo. He was just a snake, even though his master called him Black Dragon. You're called Black Dragon? Fire Dragon's large eyes glared at the black python threateningly. Yes, I am Black Dragon, the python named Black Dragon said tremblingly. He no longer had the majestic appearance he had when he first emerged. Stand properly. Why are you swaying? You're a level 8 holy beast. After all, don't be so useless, okay? Fire Dragon roared with displeasure, looking very much like a big brother lecturing his little brother. Yes. Black Dragon stood up straight, but he still shook uncontrollably. Boo-hoo. You can't bully a snake like this. Although he was a level 8 holy beast, what was he compared to a divine beast? Especially a dragon, which had the highest status among spirit beasts. Black Dragon, attack. Kill them. Zhang Jian was aggrieved when he saw his spirit beast behaving like an obedient grandson in front of the enemy. What was going on? It wasn't easy for him to obtain a level 8 holy beast. He originally thought that he could show off, but who knew? Chapter 198. Reunion. Baby awakens. 1. Master. He's a divine beast. I can't do anything. Black Dragon choked, so depressed that he was about to cry. Fire Dragon. Attack and kill them. Leave this snake's corpse intact so that we can eat its meat. Fong De said to Fire Dragon with a smile and looked at Zhang Jian with slight mockery. How satisfying. Having a good spirit beast is so cool. No problem, Master, Fire Dragon said confidently. His confidence had soared after becoming a divine beast, and he was no longer the timid, fearful, and bullied dragon. How dare you have designs on my master? Die! Fire Dragon roared furiously. He spat a scorching dragon breath at Zhang Jian and the others, and everyone in the Anaconda mercenary group died in an instant. You actually didn't die? Fire Dragon asked curiously while looking at the snake. Wouldn't spirit beasts die with their masters? We signed an equal contract, Black Dragon explained with a long face. Oh, but my master wants to eat your meat, so you have to die too, Fire Dragon said helplessly. Hee hee, the feeling of bullying others is really good. No, don't kill me. I'm willing to be your contract spirit beast, Black Dragon pleaded on the verge of tears. But my master finds you ugly, so you'd better die. Fire Dragon opened his mouth and spat out a stream of flame that shot straight at the black python. The flame was like a sharp blade, and with a swish, it sliced through the thick skin of the black python. The black python was unable to resist as he crashed heavily onto the ground and choked to death. Deputy Leader Feng, what should we do now? Fengda asked after tidying up the yard. Let's go somewhere else and find Schwerer and the others first, Feng Moran said after some thought. Schwerer wasn't here now, and they had brought so many people with them, so it was really inconvenient. Okay, I'll get them to pack up. Fengda turned around to notify the mercenary group. Even though he really wanted to get rid of the Anaconda mercenary group, he first had to ensure the safety of his companions. Fire Dragon, take us to a place with few people. Fengda patted Fire Dragon's back after everyone gathered in the yard. Okay, master. Fire Dragon nodded his huge dragon head in the air. After everyone sat on him, he flapped his giant wings and rushed into the sky to find a safe place. At this moment, Long Qingtian and the others were still waiting anxiously in the heaven and earth bracelet. No, I have to go in and take a look. Long Qingtian really couldn't wait any longer after half a month. Grandpa, big sister is out. Qingju pulled Long Qingshan's arm. Really? Long Qingtian looked at the purple bamboo house uncertainly. Sure enough, he saw his precious granddaughter walk out from it. Schwerer. Long Qingtian hurried forward, his face full of concern. Grandpa, I'm sorry for making you worry, Long Ruoxue said guiltily. She knew that everyone around her was worried about her, but she had already adjusted her mood. It's okay as long as you're willing to come out, Long Qingtian said excitedly. It seemed like his granddaughter had thought it through, so he was relieved. Old man, Grandpa Lin, big brother, I'm sorry for making you worry, Long Ruoxue said apologetically while looking at them. Ruoxue, we are family. There's no need to be so polite, Lin Liang said quickly. Yes, little girl. I also consider you my family. Old man quickly made his intentions clear. In fact, there was still one thing he hadn't said. In his heart, this girl was more important than his descendants now. Stop trying to steal my granddaughter. Long Qingtian roared with jealousy, his face full of displeasure. Unfortunately, Lin Liang and Old Man completely ignored Long Qingtian and surrounded Long Ruoxue to ask about her well-being. Looking at how they were reacting, Long Ruoxue would be lying if she said she wasn't touched. Moreover, she knew that from this moment on, she also regarded Old Man and Grandpa Lin as family. Master, Dazzle called out softly. Then he took the lead and threw himself into Long Ruoxue's arms while sobbing. What's the matter, Dazzle? Why are you crying? Who bullied you? Long Ruoxue asked as she caressed Dazzle's soft and fluffy fur. I thought that master doesn't want us anymore. Boo-hoo, Dazzle said pitifully, his face full of grievance, tears wetting his shiny black fur. Silly, how could I not want you? Long Ruoxue said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Master. Charm and the other beasts rushed into her arms as well. Long Ruoxue's body and feet were surrounded by beasts. She hugged them, touched them, and looked at their pitiful appearance that seemed as though she had abandoned them. She was happy and amused. I'm sorry for making you worry, Long Ruoxue said sincerely. These cute beasts were also her family. Having a lot of beasts is good. How caring. Old Man said with envy. Master, are we not caring enough? Old Man's beast, a snow-white ice bear, said with tears all over his face. Yes, caring. You are also caring, old man said with a face full of black lines. When did my beasts learn to pretend to be pitiful? It's really killing me. Alas, it's all the fault of little girl's beasts. Haha, old man, that's what you get for spouting nonsense. Your beasts must be jealous. Lin Liang gloated. Brat Lin, how dare you laugh at me? Old man glared at him fiercely. Have you two shameless old men been replaced? Why are you bickering more and more now? Lung Qingtian said helplessly. None of your business. The two of them yelled at Lung Qingtian in unison. Stop arguing. Grandpa, what's our next step? Do you have any plans? Lung Ruoxue walked to their side helplessly. Not yet, but the continent is in chaos now. Many places have been occupied by the spiritual deities, and the Feng and Hua families have also suffered heavy losses, Lung Qingtian explained. It wasn't that he couldn't find her, but that his master's was too special, all right? Cut the crap. Hurry up and bring me to her. The little mink roared with displeasure. He raised his little head arrogantly and didn't even look at the young man. Got it. The young man left the valley with the little mink. At this time, Lung Ruoxue had been flying in the sky for 2 days. She had searched every corner of the Eastern Lagoon Empire but didn't find any trace of Feng Moran and the others. Then Lung Ruoxue flew toward the Southern Dusk Empire. Master, there are people fighting not far below, Quill said after scanning a radius of 10,000 meters. Oh, do we know them? Lung Ruoxue asked lightly. If she knew them, she would help. If she didn't, she couldn't be bothered. After all, finding Big Brother Feng and the others was more important. Yes, there are people from the Hurricane Mercenary Group among them, Quill explained. Then let's go. After receiving Lung Ruoxue's order, Quill slowly folded his wings and descended. When they saw a giant eagle descending, both parties stopped fighting simultaneously. Haha, I have good luck with women today. Such a beautiful girl actually came knocking on my door. A somewhat wretched-looking middle-aged man said with a lewd smile after seeing Lung Ruoxue get off the giant eagle. His eyes looked at Lung Ruoxue lecherously, almost drooling. Miss, quickly leave this place. They're not good people. A handsome middle-aged uncle hurriedly shouted to Lung Ruoxue. Lung Ruoxue looked at the attitudes of the two parties toward her indifferently and couldn't help sneering in her heart. How can I leave this place? There's a spiritual deity here. Yes, Mississippi, leave quickly. Another middle-aged man with a righteous look said. If I leave, you will all be dead. Lung Ruoxue said softly. If she guessed correctly, these two middle-aged men should be the leaders of the two largest mercenary groups, the Hurricane Mercenary Group and the Universe Mercenary Group. Miss, the two middle-aged men were a little speechless. It seemed like this young lady was here to help them, but, haha, even if you don't leave, they're dead for sure. Moreover, since you're here, don't even think about leaving. The wretched-looking middle-aged man laughed hysterically, as though he was listening to a joke. Really? Lung Ruoxue said indifferently with a face full of disdain. Quill, I'll leave the spiritual deity over there to you. Master, don't worry. He won't be able to run away, Quill said confidently. Master, I want to fight too. The violent Dazzle transmitted his desire, unwilling to be left out. Okay, all of you come out. Lung Ruoxue led out all her beasts, including the thousands of silver wolves, but not her grandfather and the others. Oh my God. Both parties on the scene were dumbfounded when they saw the lineup of spirit beasts. Little girl, isn't this too exaggerated? Old man in the bracelet couldn't help saying. There were several black lines on his forehead, and his little heart was thumping nonstop from fright. I think it's pretty good. Lung Qingtian smiled happily, his face full of pride. Lin Liang, an old man, looked at Lung Qingtian disdainfully and fell silent. Outside the bracelet, A1 refers to a Chinese play, The Injustice to Doi That Touched Heaven and Earth, written by Guan Hanqing. This is great, the middle-aged man said happily, but his heart was racing. When did my foolish son meet such a strong lady? Commander Jew, I have something to do, so I'll be taking my leave first. Be careful. Long Ruashue brought all the beasts back into the heaven and earth bracelet and prepared to leave. Wait, miss, may I ask where you are going? The middle-aged man stopped Long Ruashue and asked. I'm going to look for the Blazing Flame Mercenary Group, Long Ruashue explained. Miss, the Blazing Flame Mercenary Group seems to have appeared in the Northern Frost Empire some time ago. You might be able to find them there, the middle-aged man suggested. All right. Thank you, Commander Jew. Quill, let's go to the Northern Frost Empire to look for them, Long Ruashue said to Quill. Yes, master, Quill replied before taking to the air and quickly disappearing. Upon reaching the Northern Frost Empire, Long Ruashue and Quill began a detailed search. 3 days later, Master, I think I see Feng Moran, Quill suddenly said. Where? Long Ruashue hurriedly asked. They had searched for several days, but Big Brother Feng and the others seemed to have disappeared into thin air. About 1,000 meters to the left. Quill, fly over. Who is it? Come out. Feng Moran, who was walking on the ground, suddenly shouted and kept looking around. Big Brother Feng, don't be nervous. It's me. Long Ruashue said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Why is Big Brother Feng so paranoid? Schwer. Feng Moran was excited to see Long Ruashue sitting on Quill's back. Big Brother Feng, are you all okay? Long Ruashue asked with concern. Alas, looking at Big Brother Feng's slightly haggard face, the pressure shouldn't be small recently. We're all fine. But Feng Moran hesitated, not knowing what to say. What happened to Feng De? Long Ruashue was puzzled. Feng De had a fire dragon, so nothing should happen to him. Feng De was captured by the Dragon Clan. Feng Moran explained. The Dragon Clan? Is it because of his contract with Fire Dragon? Long Ruashue asked in realization. During the contract, her grandfather had said that the dragons were not to be trifled with, but she didn't take it seriously at that time. She didn't expect Feng De to be implicated. Alas, it's all my fault. Feng Moran nodded. If they hadn't encountered an enemy that day, and Feng De hadn't used Fire Dragon, the dragons wouldn't have discovered them. Big Brother Feng, don't worry. I will save Feng De unscathed, Long Ruashue promised. If those dragons dared to hurt Feng De, I will destroy their nest and make them all homeless dragons. Schwer, they'll bring you to where we're staying. Feng Moran nodded. Schwer was their backbone. There was nothing to worry about after he saw her. Okay, Big Brother Feng, come up. Long Ruashue beckoned Feng Moran, and they sat on Quill's back together. Quill flew over according to the address Feng Moran gave. After arriving at the residence Feng Moran spoke of, Quill descended in the courtyard. Chapter 201. Reunion. Baby awakens. 4. Deputy Leader Feng, you're back? Cui Zhu was the first to see Feng Moran. Hey, look who's here. Feng Moran turned around and revealed Long Ruashue behind him. Miss, Cui Zhu shouted happily and sprang toward Long Ruashue. Miss? Where is she? Cui Zhu, are you dreaming? Lu Tao's voice sounded. Lu Tao. Long Ruashue called out softly. Miss, it's really you. Lu Tao couldn't believe her eyes. She was stunned for a moment, and when she came back to her senses, she also sprang toward Long Ruashue like Cui Zhu. Miss. At this moment, everyone in the mercenary group also rushed over and surrounded Long Ruashue. I'm relieved that you're all okay, Long Ruashue said excitedly as she looked at the familiar faces. Miss, how are the general and young master? Lu Tao asked worriedly. She had not had a good night's sleep since she found out about the incident in the general's mansion. They're fine. They'll bring you to see them now. Long Ruashue had long thought about arranging these people to cultivate in the heaven and earth bracelet. After all, these people had sworn an oath to her, so there was absolutely no problem with their loyalty. Moreover, these people in the mercenary group would be her greatest help in the future, so she had to focus on nurturing them. With a thought, Long Ruoxue moved everyone into the heaven and earth bracelet. Schwer, where is this? Feng Moran asked in bewilderment. Yes, Mississippi. Where is this? It's so beautiful, Chuizhu said in amazement. This is my space. You will all cultivate here from now on, Long Ruoxue said to everyone. Really? That's great. The spiritual energy here is so dense. Wow, this is simply a blessed land for cultivators. I'm dying of happiness. Everyone was excited. They knew very well that if their young lady allowed them to stay here, it meant that she would not chase them away anymore and that they could follow her forever. These children, they're really too easily excited. Lin Liang shook his head and sighed softly. You weren't much better than them when you first came in. Old man immediately exposed him without giving him any face. You! Lin Liang gritted his teeth and glared at old man fiercely. But soon, he was full of smiles because these children had already discovered his existence. Principal, you're here too, Lu Yen said on behalf of all the students. Hee, I will follow Ruoxue from now on. You can't despise me, this old man. Lin Liang pretended to be pitiful. Seeing Lin Liang pretending to be pitiful, Lu Yin and the others were at a loss for words. They thought that the principal was a serious person. It seemed like you really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. While everyone was chatting and catching up, Long Ruoxue walked toward the purple bamboo house alone because Baby had woken up. As soon as she entered the purple bamboo house, a little black furball jumped into her arms. Big sister, Baby missed you so much. Baby's fluffy little face was full of attachment. Baby, you've slept for a long time, Long Ruoxue said as she gently caressed Baby's fluffy and chubby body. He's actually still fat? Big sister, how am I fat? Baby complained coquettishly after hearing Long Ruoxue's thoughts. His figure was very standard, okay? You're cuter if you're fatter, Long Ruoxue coaxed. She cared a lot about her first little beast. Big sister, I didn't sleep so long for nothing, Baby said with a smug face, so proud that he was only short of raising his little tail. Did you have a fortuitous encounter? Long Ruoxue asked doubtfully. Of course. Baby is so capable now. Baby paused and continued. Not only can Baby read minds now, but I can also see through a person's soul. Moreover, Baby will become more capable as I grow older. Baby is really capable. Then I'll have to rely on Baby to protect Big Sister from now on. Long Ruoxue coaxed very cooperatively. Little Baby's smug look is really too cute. Yes. Baby will protect Big Sister. Baby will fiercely bite whoever dares to bully Big Sister. Baby raised his little face and said cockily. Bite? Long Ruoxue was speechless. Who can Baby bite with his little mouth? Baby, Grandpa and the others are outside. Let's go. Baby nodded. He was reluctant, but he was a good, obedient baby. Long Ruoxue left the purple bamboo house with Baby in her arms. Schwer, isn't this Baby? He's awake. Lung Qingtian exclaimed in surprise when he saw the little black furball in his granddaughter's arms. Wasn't this little guy sleeping? Why hasn't anything changed even though he's awake now? It's so strange. Who says I haven't changed? I changed a lot. Baby, who heard Long Qingshan's thoughts, said with dissatisfaction. Lung Qingtian was embarrassed. How does this little guy know what I'm thinking? Haha. Lung Ruoxue couldn't help laughing. Grandpa looks so cute. Schwer, what are you laughing about? Long Qingtian said, a little embarrassed. Grandpa, Baby can read minds now, so of course he knows what you're thinking. Lung Ruoxue explained very kindly. Lung Qingtian didn't expect a spirit beast to have such a skill. It was too abnormal. With this thought, he subconsciously covered his chest and looked at Baby cautiously. There's no point in covering it. I can see anything I want, Baby said indifferently, his little face full of pride. Hee, Baby, you are a good child. Can you tell Grandpa what those two old men are thinking? Lung Qingtian approached Baby with an ingratiating expression and whispered mischievously while pointing at Lin Liang, an old man not far away. Chapter 202. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help. 1. They're thinking about what to have for dinner. Baby opened his little mouth slightly and said softly, "These two gluttons only know how to eat." Long Qingtian couldn't help scolding them with a smile. "Grandpa, food is the most important thing for people. It's normal to like to eat," Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. These three old men now treat bickering as fun. "That's true. Shuer, what should we have for dinner tonight?" Lung Qingtian asked. There were so many people now, and the food in the space was becoming less and less. Alas, he was a little worried. "Let's eat outside tonight," Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. There were few people before, so they could cook in the space. But with so many people now, it was obviously impossible. "Oh right, Grandpa. Where are they?" Lung Ruoxue asked again. She looked around just now but didn't find any trace of Big Brother Feng and the others. "They went out to look for materials to build houses," Lung Qingtian explained. "Go out to look for what? Isn't there a bamboo forest over there?" Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. "Those children can't bear to use it," Lung Qingtian said helplessly. "They're back." With a thought, Lung Ruoxue brought Feng Moran and the others into the heaven and earth bracelet. "Shuer, is this your new spirit beast?" Feng Moran asked curiously when he saw the chubby little furball in Long Ruoxue's arms. "You are the new one. I am Big Sister's first spirit beast." Baby's face was full of displeasure. So many beasts actually pestered Big Sister while I was sleeping. So infuriating. Big Sister belongs only to me. No one is allowed to snatch her. I'll bite whoever robs her away." Feng Moran was speechless. This little beast is really too. Lung Ruoxue pulled a long face and scolded, "Baby, don't talk to Big Brother Feng like that." "Big Sister." Baby's eyes immediately welled up with tears. He looked at Long Ruoxue pitifully, his fluffy little face full of grievances. "It's okay," Feng Moran said quickly. He was an adult and wouldn't fuss about it with an underage little beast. "Big Brother Feng, you can use the bamboo in the bamboo forest. You don't have to look for materials outside. Moreover, you can use the bamboo in the space to build a room that can help absorb spiritual power," Lung Ruoxue explained. "But there are so many of us. It probably won't be enough even if we use up all the bamboo." Feng Moran liked the bamboo forest the moment he saw it, but he was unwilling to use it. After all, every bamboo was full of spiritual energy. "Big Brother Feng, you don't have to worry about that. Things in the space grow very quickly," Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. "Moran, see? I was right," Lung Qingtian interrupted. "Then let's use that piece of bamboo." Feng Moran didn't stand on ceremony since Shuer said so. "Okay, Silver Wings, get the Silver Wolves to help Big Brother Feng and the others." Lung Ruoxue looked at the Silver Wolf King not far away. "Yes, Master," Silver Wings answered and turned to summon his tribe. With the help of the Silver Wolves, the houses of Feng Moran and the others were quickly built. "Well, not bad, not bad." Lung Qingtian looked at the newly built houses adjacent to each other, feeling very satisfied. "Pretty fast," Old Man praised. After they finished with their lodgings, everyone left the heaven and earth bracelet and went outside to prepare dinner. After the meal, everyone left and busied themselves. Inside the heaven and earth bracelet, Shuer, Lung Ruoxue was sitting alone on a rock by the waterfall. When she heard Feng Moran's voice, she turned her head and saw him standing behind her. "Big Brother Feng, why are you here?" Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. After dinner, everyone went to decorate their new houses. She thought Big Brother Feng was also doing the same. "Shuer, are you all right?" Feng Moran couldn't help asking concernedly. They already knew about Yi Chun, but no one dared to ask. "I'm fine," Lung Ruoxue said indifferently, but her eyes were fixed on the snow-white, almost transparent fish in the waterfall. "Freak always liked to capture the fish here to eat." "That's good," Feng Moran said with relief. Lung Ruoxue stood up and said to Feng Moran, "Big Brother Feng, I'm going back to my room to rest. You should rest early too. We will leave for the Dragon Clan tomorrow." "Okay, good night." At the same time, the young man looking for Lung Ruoxue and the others had a depressed look on his face. In a commoner residence in a remote town. Didn't you say that Schwer is here? Where is she? The little silver mink roared furiously and occasionally flashed his sharp little claws to scare the young man. She was originally here, but it seems she's left again. The young man wanted to cry but had no tears. My grandaunt, why are you running so quickly? He rushed over as soon as he received the news, but he actually couldn't make it in time. Boo-hoo. This master of his would probably go crazy if he couldn't find her, but not before he himself went crazy. Hurry up and think of a way to find Schwer. Otherwise, you know the consequences, the cute little silver mink threatened, his eyes releasing a terrifying cold light. Master, if my guess is right, Lung Rawashue and the others will definitely go to where the dragon clan is. Why don't we just stay there and wait for the rabbit to show up? The young man analyzed with a fawning expression. You are the rabbit. The little silver mink roared angrily. Humph. Is there any rabbit as beautiful as Schwer? She's not a rabbit, not a rabbit. This subordinate said something wrong. The young man quickly admitted his mistake. Boo-hoo. A good child learned from their mistakes. Let's go to the dragon clan. The little silver mink said resolutely. Master is wise. Stop flattering me. You know the consequences if you can't find Schwer, the little silver mink said indifferently. Thus, the human and mink embarked on the journey to the dragon clan. On the way, Master, the chicken you want is ready. Please enjoy it. The young man eagerly handed the grilled chicken to the little silver mink, who was resting on a cushion with his eyes closed. Chapter 203. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help, 2. It's passable. The little silver mink took the grilled chicken, which was nearly 10 times his size, and said with dissatisfaction after taking a bite. Master, I've tried my best, the young man said helplessly. Master, your request is too high. Go and see who's interrupting my meal. Kill without mercy. The little silver mink said with displeasure while listening to the sounds of fighting coming from not far away. Yes. After receiving the order, the young man jumped up and flew toward the fight. A moment later, the young man returned. However, not only did he not return alone, but he even brought back a burden. I didn't permit you to bring anyone back, the little silver mink said with narrowed eyes, a little angry. Moreover, he actually brought someone he hated. Cold sweat dripped down the young man's forehead. He also felt that he had done something stupid. He had underestimated his master's jealousy. Boo-hoo. What should I do? I'm really dead this time. Mooli, is this little mink your contract spirit beast? Huaqing suddenly asked. Although he didn't know why the little mink was so hostile to him, he didn't seem to like this arrogant little mink. You are the contract spirit beast. Your whole family is. The little silver mink immediately became furious after hearing Huaqing's words. It's not my contract spirit beast. Don't spout nonsense. The young man, Mooli, exclaimed hurriedly. He was so scared that his face turned pale. Boo-hoo. This master isn't someone I can afford to contract. Oh, why don't you give it to me then? I happen to have a mink as well, so they can keep each other company, Huaqing said with a dazzling smile on his face. Keep each other company? Heavens! Mooli was about to cry from anxiety. Oh my God! Oh my God! Stop spouting nonsense. He's too petty. Even if you want to die, don't implicate me. Mooli couldn't help sneaking glances at the little mink from time to time. Say it again. A certain little mink shouted and glared. I said, they'll find you a partner. Huaqing said with an ambiguous smile and summoned his spirit mink. Huaqing's mink was snow white. Its fur was soft and smooth, and its black diamond-like eyes were clear and enchanting. Master, the snow mink called coquettishly and hopped onto Huaqing's shoulder. Oh, Schwer, I found you a partner because I was afraid you would be lonely. Look at it. It's not bad. Huaqing pointed at the little silver mink as if he was presenting a treasure. Master, I like it. The eyes of the snow mink, named Schwer, immediately lit up with countless little hearts upon seeing the adorable little silver mink, and its heart rate accelerated drastically. It even lowered its head shyly after speaking. Good taste. I knew Shuair would definitely like it, Huaqing said happily. At this moment, Muli, who was very close to Huaqing, quietly moved away. Boo-hoo. I don't want to be implicated. Huaqing, don't drag me into this if you want to die. Muli, my Shuair really likes this silver mink. How about it? Give it to me? Huaqing turned to look at Muli, his face full of anticipation. I can't decide, Muli said softly. He even felt like dying now. Moreover, he could clearly feel someone's anger brewing. Oh, Shuair. Looks like you have to woo it yourself. Huaqing shrugged helplessly, indicating that there was nothing he could do. Okay. Shuair nodded before rushing toward the little silver mink shyly. The little silver mink, who was in a bad mood, didn't say a word and directly kicked. After that, there was a plop as Shuair rolled onto the ground like a ball. After rolling for some distance, it slowly crawled back and pounced on the little silver mink again. Dong, dong, dong. Shuair was kicked away again, and it crawled back again and again. It was abnormally determined and worked hard in the direction of its beloved. Muli was flabbergasted as he looked at the snow-white mink that had just turned black. He was at a loss for words. So persistent. Is the power of love really that great? While he was fantasizing, the little silver mink couldn't take it anymore. He stretched out his little fist and gave the persistent snow mink a good beating. Humph. How dare you have any ideas about me? Die. Hey, why don't you feel sad that your spirit beast is being beaten up? Muli looked at Huaqing in puzzlement. How could a master smile when his spirit beast was beaten up? Hitting is affection. Cursing is love. I can't meddle in this young couple's affairs, even if I'm its master, Huaqing said nonchalantly with a smug face. Upon hearing Huaqing's words, the little silver mink was brimming with hatred. Damn Huaqing, just you wait. When I get better, the first person I beat up will be you. Huaqing, take care. Muli looked at Huaqing sympathetically and didn't dare to bother with him, lest a certain someone became angry and beat him up too. Master, it's too fierce, but I like it. Shuair walked unsteadily back to Huaqing's side, but its will was even more resolute. As a male, he had to tame this fierce mink. Ambitious. Master supports you. Huaqing approved. He felt that he was really too open-minded. Little Muzi, let's go. The little silver mink said to Muli and glared at Huaqing in displeasure. Oh, Muli replied helplessly, but he was wailing in his heart. Master, can you not call me Little Muzi? Where are you going? Let's go together. Huaqing said hurriedly. Even Shuair, which was sitting on his shoulder, nodded in agreement. Don't follow us, the little silver mink said fiercely, his eyes shining fiercely. Ener, how can you treat me like this? You've hit me and scolded me, but you still want to chase me away. You're too heartless. Shuair spoke up before Huaqing could say anything. Moreover, he even gave the little silver mink a name on his own. He even started crying after. Chapter 204. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help. 3. The corner of Mu Li's mouth twitched slightly, and his heart kept skipping. This Shuair is really one of a kind. He was sure they wouldn't be lonely if they had the two of them on the road. Unfortunately, a certain someone would never agree. Damn it, don't call me Ener. As expected, the mink exploded again. Shall I call you Diawer then? Shuair probed. He knew that his sweetheart had a bad temper. You're courting death. The little silver mink roared furiously. Master, how did I fall for such a fierce mink? Shuair turned to his master with a puzzled expression. This? I can only say that love is blind. There's nothing you can do when you're in love. Huaqing comforted him, but he was laughing in his heart. He hadn't been this happy since the Hua family's incident. Little Muzi, they can follow if they want. The little silver mink suddenly changed his mind. Humph. Huaqing, just you wait. I won't let you go. I'm letting you follow me because I don't want to waste time settling scores with you in the future. Naturally, Huaqing didn't know what was on the mind of a certain vengeful little mink, so he was destined for his tragic future. Thus, the two humans and two beasts set off for the Dragon Clan together. Meanwhile, Lung Ruoxue and the others were also sitting on Quill's back and heading toward the Dragon Clan. Grandpa, do dragons really live on the island opposite Carefree Mountain? Lung Ruoxue couldn't help asking. Legend has it that no one has been to Dragon Island before, Lung Qingtian explained. Dragon Island was not a place where humans could go. Spirit beasts with noble bloodlines like dragons and phoenixes despised humans the most. Little girl, the location of Dragon Island has been passed down for thousands of years on the Lingfeng continent. However, dragons have always been isolated from the world and are strong, so no one has been able to verify the authenticity of this legend. Old Man also explained that the locations of Dragon Island and Phoenix Nest only existed in legends. Yes, Ruoxue, let's go to the Carefree Mountain to look for them first. If we don't find them, we will find them somewhere else, Lin Liang said comfortingly. He knew that this girl was worried that Fengde would be tortured in the Dragon Clan's place. Alas, they were also worried. But it wouldn't be so easy to find the nests of the two top spirit beasts. Master, there seems to be a little phoenix up ahead, Quill said suddenly. Really? Where? Everyone asked curiously. Right there, Quill said with a look. Everyone looked in the direction of Quill's gaze and saw a little green bird, seemingly panicking, looking back anxiously while flying. This is a little phoenix? Why is it different from what I know? Lin Yuan asked curiously. Wasn't it just a bird? There was nothing special about it. Didn't I ask you to study hard? Lung Qingtian knocked Lin Yuan on the head lightly. This is a vermilion bird, and a very rare wood attribute vermilion bird, Lung Ruoxue explained. The Phoenix clan was a very large race. There were not only birds like phoenixes but also vermilion birds, great arguses, and so on. But the leaders of the Phoenix clan had always been phoenixes because of their numbers, while vermilion birds and great arguses were rarely known. Phoenixes were mostly red and divided into male and female fire phoenixes. There were also a small number of them which were black, blue, and white. The feathers of phoenixes were bright, luxurious, and abnormally beautiful. Vermilion birds and great arguses, on the other hand, might look very similar to phoenixes, but their feathers were not as beautiful as those of phoenixes. This green vermilion bird should still be underage because apart from the phoenix crown on its head, it was not very different from ordinary birds. Little vermilion bird, did you do something bad? Quill blocked the path of the little green bird and teased. No, there are bad people behind me who want to capture me, the little vermilion bird hurriedly explained. His small green eyes darted around, and he suddenly saw Lung Ruoxue, so he threw himself into her arms without a care. Big sister, save me. There are bad people who want to capture this cute Inflame, the vermilion bird, which claimed to be called Inflame, said with a slight sobbing tone as if he had found a backer. Get lost, damn bird. Big sister is mine. Baby, which had been dominating Lung Ruoxue's arms, couldn't take it anymore when he saw someone coming to snatch his big sister away. He immediately roared loudly. Big sister. Inflame looked at Lung Ruoxue pitifully. Tears quickly welled up in his eyes, but they refused to fall. Okay, stop pretending to be pitiful. Tell me, what benefits will I get by helping you? Lung Ruoxue said in a businesslike manner. She just happened to be looking for someone to ask for directions when this vermilion bird came knocking on her door. What do you mean by benefits? Inflame asked, his little face full of question marks. What will I get if I help you? Lung Ruoxue said with a face full of black lines. I actually want benefits from a bird. I have a lot of chinaberry fruits I can give big sister. Inflame's green eyes rolled around, thinking for a long time before he replied reluctantly. Boo-hoo, this was his favorite food. He usually couldn't bear to eat them. I don't need that thing, Lung Ruoxue said speechlessly. She wasn't a phoenix, So how could she be interested in chinaberry fruits? Little vermilion bird, do you know where Dragon Island is? Long Ruashua asked directly, in case this vermilion bird thought that she was going to snatch food from him again. Yes, Dragon Island is very close to our phoenix nest. Inflame didn't understand why this big sister was asking about this, but he answered her honestly. Then he'll help you chase away the bad guys, and you tell me the location of Dragon Island, okay? Long Ruashua began to negotiate with the little vermilion bird. Big sister, are you going to Dragon Island? Don't go. It's so stinky there. Those stinky dragons are so dirty, and they don't bathe every day, Inflame said disdainfully. Big sister wants to go to Dragon Island to save someone, Long Ruashua said with some amusement. It seemed that this little vermilion bird didn't have a good impression of Dragon Island. Oh, then he'll bring Big Sister along, Inflame said proactively. How dare you snatch the spirit beast I want? An angry roar sounded in the ears of Long Ruashua and the others. Chapter 205. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help. 4. Big Sister, save me. Inflame ignored Baby and burrowed into Long Ruashua's arms to seek protection. Long Ruashua looked up with slight displeasure, and her beautiful eyes gently swept over the two people also flying in the air. She laughed in her heart. It's actually them? What a coincidence. Long Qingtian and the others looked at each other, and the smile on their faces gradually widened. Hee, more fools came knocking on our door to be abused. These two people were part of those spiritual deities, but they would never have imagined that the people they encountered now were the people they were looking for and wanted to get rid of because Long Ruashua and the others had changed their appearance. You've only just seen him, and he isn't yours yet. How can you conclude that I snatched him from you? Long Ruashua said with a chuckle. Damn girl. Hand over that bird if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, you're all dead, the other person threatened. Long Ruashua turned her head and said fearfully, Really? Grandpa, he said we're going to die. Hee, I want to see how we die. Old man said nonchalantly with a look of curiosity. I want to know too, Lin Liang echoed. The two of them sang the same song, forming a tacit understanding. You're asking for it. The burly man who spoke earlier roared in anger and directly attacked Lin Liang. Hey, why are you attacking me first? Do I look easy to bully? Lin Liang was depressed and dodged the attack. You won't be so lucky next time. The burly man didn't expect the seemingly ordinary old man to dodge his attack and couldn't help gritting his teeth. Is that so? You can try, Lin Liang provoked. During this time, he had not eaten so many spirit fruits for nothing. Moreover, after staying in Ruaksha's space for so long, his spiritual power had already reached a saturated state, and he was very close to a breakthrough. Damn old man. You're courting death, the burly man roared, his eyes releasing intense killing intent. Seeing that the fight was about to begin, Long Ruashua quickly sent the mercenary group into the bracelet and released all the beasts to help. Grandpa Lin, you can do it. We'll cheer you on. Long Ruashua said, wanting to see the world in chaos. Her beautiful face was full of anticipation. Come on, Bratlin. Don't embarrass this old man. Old man also hooted. Come on, beat the bad guys to death. Anyone who bullies Inflame is a bad person. Inflame shouted as well. Well, he was really confident with someone supporting him. You heartless people. Do you want me to fight these two by myself? Lin Liang was so angry. Why did I interrupt just now? Wasn't I just finding trouble for myself? Don't worry. It'll help you, Inflame said, thinking that he was being very kind. But he couldn't help thinking that this guy was really pitiful since no one would help him fight at such an old age. Fortunately, Lin Liang couldn't hear Inflame's thoughts. Otherwise, he would be depressed to death. Inflame, you're the best. You all have no conscience. You're worse than a bird. Lin Liang said angrily as he released a wind blade slash at the burly man. Hee hee. After hearing this, Baby couldn't help covering his snickering mouth. Baby, what are you laughing about? Long Ruoxue was puzzled as she looked at Baby laughing hysterically. What's so funny? Baby jumped onto Long Ruoxue's shoulder, leaned against her ear, and whispered what he had just heard from the little vermilion bird. Long Ruoxue couldn't help laughing out loud. This little vermilion bird was really too cute. He actually knew how to respect elders. But she believed that if Grandpa Lin knew what the little vermilion bird was thinking, he would definitely be depressed to death. After all, who was willing to admit that they were old? Schwer, what are you laughing about? Lung Qingtian couldn't help asking when he saw his granddaughter laughing so happily. Did something funny happen? Seeing her grandfather's curious expression, Lung Ruoxue told him what Baby had just told her. Lung Qingtian also laughed out loud after hearing this. You guys are too much. Why are you leaving me out of the joke? Old Man complained. With a face full of helplessness, Lung Ruoxue told Old Man's face lit up as he stole glances at Lin Liang. Charm, go help Grandpa Lin. Lung Ruoxue said kindly when she saw that Lin Liang was indeed struggling. Well, she also knew how to respect her elders. Yes, master. Charm and the other beasts were excited after hearing this. Their claws had already been itching while waiting for their master's order. Seeing how eager her beasts were, Long Ruoxue was at a loss for words. When did my beasts become so violent and aggressive? With the addition of Charm and the other beasts, Lin Liang felt much less pressure. He even gave the main battlefield to Charm and the others while he watched the battle from the side and occasionally launched sneak attacks. His actions made the two spiritual deities so angry that they almost vomited blood. Damn it! Can you not be so despicable? A spiritual deity couldn't help cursing. TCH, why didn't you say you were despicable when you two hit me? Lin Liang said disdainfully. Beat him up. Scratch him. Yes, bite them fiercely. Lin Liang continued to cheer excitedly. At this moment, the two spiritual deities were forced by the beasts to the point where they had nowhere to hide. They could only hop around to avoid the attacks of the beasts. Their bodies were already riddled with wounds, and they were in a sorry state. But the beasts were not in a hurry as they calmly attacked from time to time. It was obvious that they were just teasing the two of them. How dare you bully me? How dare you bully me? Bad guys. Bad guys. And Flame, who had been watching from the side, also dashed forward with his blood boiling. He scratched and pecked at the two spiritual deities. This little thing is actually basking in reflected glory. Lung Ruoxue gently smiled helplessly. Yes, but this little fellow is quite cute. Schwer, our strength will definitely greatly increase if you can contract with a few phoenixes and dragons. That way, we will gain a small foothold even in the upper realm, Lung Qingtian said with an expectant look. Chapter 206, The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest. 1. Spirit beasts such as phoenixes and dragons were at the top of the hierarchy of spirit beasts in every realm and world. Moreover, they were powerful and were absolutely the best spirit beasts in people's minds. Although the strength of Lung Ruoxue's group was among the best on the Lingfeng continent, they were at the bottom of the hierarchy in the upper realm. Therefore, they could at least protect themselves if they had a few good spirit beasts by their side. Grandpa, spirit beasts with superior aptitudes like phoenixes and dragons look down on humans more than other spirit beasts, so contracting them isn't easy, Lung Ruoxue explained. She had contracted quite a number of spirit beasts now, and the strength of spirit beasts like Charm was definitely not inferior to that of phoenixes and dragons. So if possible, she wanted to help a few people around her contract those spirit beasts. You're right. Grandpa is asking for too much. Lung Qingtian was a little disappointed. Not necessarily. The space of our little girl is very attractive to spirit beasts. As long as she is willing to help, those spirit beasts will definitely rush to her door, Old Man suggested with a smile. Even his spirit beasts were unwilling to return to the spirit beast space after seeing that space. So how could other spirit beasts be an exception? Very reasonable. Schwer, why don't you try it? Lung Qingtian couldn't help looking forward to it again. It would be awesome if he could have a dragon or phoenix as his contract beast. We'll see. Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. It seems like Grandpa really wants a dragon or phoenix. In that case, I have to get one for him even if I have to snatch one. We'll see about what? Lin Liang asked curiously after sitting down beside them. See if we can contract with a few dragons and phoenixes, Lung Ruoxue explained with a light smile. This idea might be crazy, but Grandpa Lin supports you, Lin Liang said excitedly. He would have sneered if anyone else said this, but it was possible since it was Ruoxue. I'm not the one going to contract them. I want to get them for you, Lin Yuan, and the others, Lung Ruoxue said with a very calm expression. Ruoxue, you are so considerate. Grandpa Lin is in need of spirit beasts. Lin Liang exaggeratedly wiped his tears while staring at Lung Ruoxue with shining eyes. Bah, what spirit beast are you lacking? Don't you have any shame? Old Man was the first to shout as he glared at Lin Liang with contempt. Exactly. I've known you for so many years, but why didn't I know you were so thick-skinned until today? I really haven't met a good person. Lung Qingtian said regretfully. Alas, he actually made a bad friend by mistake. You two are obviously jealous of me. I understand. Lin Liang said nonchalantly. People should be thick-skinned when necessary. TCH. Old Man and Lung Qingtian turned their heads at the same time, ignoring the disrespectful old fellow. Charm jumped onto Lung Ruoxue's shoulder and said, Master, it's done. Well done, Lung Ruoxue praised while caressing Charm's beautiful fluffy fur. Her beasts did things so cleanly and efficiently. They even cleaned up the battlefield. Quill, let's go. Lung Ruoxue patted his head gently. Yes, Master. Little vermilion bird. Lead the way. Quill turned to the little vermilion bird. Big sister, do you really want to go? Dragon Island stinks. Inflame couldn't help saying with a reluctant expression. Inflame, Big sister has to go. Big sister's friend is on Dragon Island, Lung Ruoxue explained. She had long heard that dragons and phoenixes disliked each other. It seemed to be true. All right, Inflame will bring you there. Inflame said obediently and landed on Lung Ruoxue's other shoulder. Inflame is so well behaved. Lung Ruoxue praised as she caressed the little vermilion bird's head. Hee, big sister, your body smells so good. Inflame loves it, Inflame said shyly. You perverted bird, Scram. Baby roared furiously. How dare he tease big sister in front of me? He must be tired of living. Inflame moved closer to Lung Ruoxue and said pitifully, Big sister, he's so fierce. He's bullying Inflame. Inflame, quickly lead the way. Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Her beasts were fighting for affection almost every day, giving her a headache. Fortunately, they hadn't started physically fighting yet. Big sister, if you want to go to Dragon Island, you have to pass through Grief Remedy Forest first. But that place is very dangerous. Inflame explained. Grief Remedy Forest? Where? Lung Ruoxue asked in bewilderment. Why hadn't she heard of Grief Remedy Forest? Grief Remedy Forest is on the southernmost part of the Ling Feng continent, and there are many poisonous creatures there, Inflame said worriedly. Those poisonous creatures loved humans the most. I think I've read about Grief Remedy Forest in a book. Plants and animals there seem to be poisonous, Old Man suddenly said with a serious face. Poison? I have to go even if Grief Remedy Forest is full of perils. Lung Ruoxue said nonchalantly. In fact, the reason she was so confident was because of the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Otherwise, she really wouldn't dare to risk everyone's lives. Quill, go to Grief Remedy Forest. Lung Ruoxue ordered. Yes, Master, Quill answered and flew toward Grief Remedy Forest. They finally arrived at the Grief Remedy Forest that Inflame spoke of after flying for 3 days. At the entrance to the forest, Inflame, is this the place? Lung Ruoxue asked the little vermilion bird, who was munching on a spirit fruit. Yes, it's here. It's very dangerous here. Big sister, You have to be careful. Inflame answered while eating. Inflame, why aren't you afraid of these poisonous creatures since you're from here? Old Man asked shamelessly with a face full of curiosity. Because I have the aura of the Phoenix clan on me, they don't dare to hurt me. But I'm still underage, so I can't protect everyone to walk through this forest safely. Inflame lowered his head shyly, feeling very guilty. Boo-hoo. Big Sister and the others saved me and treated me so well, but I can't do the same for them. Chapter 207. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest. 2. Silly Inflame. Big Sister doesn't care about those poisonous creatures at all. Long Ruashua knew what was bothering the little vermilion bird once she saw his expression, so she quickly comforted him. Yes, yes. Big Sister is so powerful. How can those things be Big Sister's match? Inflame immediately became lively again. Master, shall we enter? Quill asked. Enter. Wait, Big Sister. Don't fly, or you'll be in trouble if you get entangled by the cannibal vines, Inflame suddenly warned. Inflame, it's daytime now. Don't poisonous creatures like to appear at night? Lung Ruashua asked doubtfully. Not entirely. It's just that there will be more at night. Big Sister, there are usually very few humans here, so the cannibal vines usually rest during the day. But they will wake up if there is any human smell, Inflame explained. The most wretched thing in the forest during the day was the cannibal vines. Most of the other poisonous creatures basically only appeared at night. Let's enter then, Lung Ruashua said after she exchanged glances with her grandfather and the others and nodded slightly at each other. Big Sister, everything here is poisonous, so be careful not to touch anything, Inflame reminded her worriedly. Okay. Lung Ruashua couldn't help finding Inflame's nagging funny. What a worrywart. Lung Ruashua got Lin Yuan and the others to enter the bracelet, leaving only her grandfather, Old Man, Grandpa Lin, Big Brother Feng, Baby, Charm, and Quill with her. 5 humans and 4 beasts walked into Grief Remedy Forest together. After entering the forest, Lung Ruashua found that it was just as Inflame had said. All the plants were poisonous, and even the air here was poisonous. Fortunately, this forest wasn't very large, or she really didn't know when they would be able to walk out of it. Eat this. Lung Ruashua handed each of them a pill after taking a few steps. This pill was a detoxification pill she concocted. It might not be able to cure all poisons, but it would at least make things easier for them. Everyone, including the beasts, threw the pills directly into their mouths. They immediately felt a refreshing sensation, and their breathing became much smoother. Big Sister, don't touch it. That's very poisonous. Inflame stopped Lung Ruashua hurriedly when he saw her about to touch an inconspicuous little grass. Big Sister knows. Lung Ruashua carefully dug out the blade of grass with her hand. She didn't expect soul-devouring grass to be growing here. This was great. This way, she could upgrade her controlling pills to soul-devouring pills. Big Sister is actually okay? Inflame's face was full of curiosity. He didn't even dare to touch that grass, but she was actually fine after touching it. It was really too magical. You perverted bird. Do you really want something to happen to Big Sister? Baby roared angrily. He hated everyone who wanted to compete with him for favor. Big Sister, I didn't mean it that way. Inflame looked at Lung Ruashua aggrievedly. Hee, Big Sister understands Inflame's intentions. Lung Ruashua caressed Inflame's head to console him. That's good. Big Sister, why do you want that grass? Inflame was a lot more at ease after hearing Lung Ruashua's words, but he couldn't help becoming curious again. To concoct pills, Lung Ruashua answered simply while her beautiful watery eyes looked around to see if there were any more herbs. Ruashua, these herbs are all poisonous. Can they be used for alchemy? Lin Liang was puzzled. He had never heard of alchemists using poisonous herbs to concoct pills. Could such pills be consumed? Brat Lin, don't embarrass this old man. Okay? Of course, The poisonous herbs will be concocted into poisonous pills. Old man pursed his lips, his face saying, I don't know this person. Alchemists actually concoct poison. Cold sweat rolled down Lin Liang's back. This was really too terrifying. Grandpa Lin, of course poison is used to deal with enemies. It saves a lot of energy. Fighting and killing are the behavior of barbarians, Long Ruoxue said with a light smile. She had no choice because she was lazy. That makes sense. Lin Liang thought about it carefully. That's right. Isn't it silly not to use simple methods? But this girl, becoming her enemy will definitely be tragic. Inflame scratched his little head with his small wings and thought and said, Big sister, I know a place with a lot of this kind of grass. Do you want more? Where? Bring big sister there. Come with me. Inflame flapped his little wings and led the way while Long Ruoxue and the others followed closely behind. Big sister, this is the place. Inflame brought Long Ruoxue and the others to the place he knew. So many herbs. Long Ruoxue exclaimed as she looked at the large meadow in front of her. But they were all poisonous. Besides the soul-devouring grass, there were many other herbs. This place can absolutely be considered a paradise for poisonous herbs. Long Ruoxue squatted down excitedly and began picking herbs carefully. Swear, Grandpa will help you. Lung Qingtian also bent down, prepared to help. Otherwise, when could she pick all the grass? Grandpa, be careful. These are very poisonous, Long Ruoxue reminded while harvesting. Miss, let us come out to help out too. Lin Yuan sent a voice transmission from the space. There was strength in numbers. Okay, come out after taking the antidote, Long Ruoxue said after some thought. Given their current strength, it was very dangerous for Lin Yuan and the others in this forest. After taking the detoxification pills, Long Ruoxue let Lin Yuan and the group out. With everyone's cooperation, the large patch of grass was finally harvested. Pulling weeds does require strength. Lin Liang collapsed onto the ground, panting from exhaustion. You just realized it. Otherwise, why do you think pills are so expensive? Old man deliberately provoked. Damn, old man. Do you feel uncomfortable if you don't quarrel with me? Lin Liang roared. Yes. It'll feel uncomfortable all over if I don't bully you, old man said without blushing or skipping a beat. Lin Yuan, I'll send you back. It's too dangerous here. Long Ruoxue looked helplessly at the two people who were fighting like chickens. Chapter 208. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest, 3, Yes, Mississippi. Everyone be careful too, Lin Yuan reminded. They were too weak, and they still found it difficult to breathe even though they had taken detoxification pills. Let's go, Long Ruoxue said to Long Qingtian and the others after she sent Lin Yuan and the others into the bracelet. Everyone nodded and continued forward. Master, there seems to be some sounds coming from over there. Charm pointed to the right of the forest. Big sister, that's the territory of the cannibal vines. The cannibal vines must have caught food again, Inflame explained. He brought her and the others along a very safe route. Poisonous creatures would basically not appear along this path during the day, but other people or beasts might not be so lucky. Quill, take a look at what's going on. Master, it seems to be the Feng family's first elder, Quill said uncertainly after scanning the area with his X-ray vision. There were two people entangled by the vines, but he hadn't seen the other person before. What did you say? Feng Moran was shocked when he heard this. Is the first elder still alive? Let's go take a look, Long Ruoxue said understandingly. She believed that Quill wouldn't be mistaken. Moreover, the first elder was her ally, so it was reasonable and logical for her to take a look. Big sister, Inflame stood in front of Long Ruoxue and the others, unwilling to let them go forward. Inflame, it's okay. You have to trust Big Sister, Long Ruoxue coaxed. This little fellow could really cause a headache when he became stubborn. All right then, but Big Sister, don't get too close, Inflame reminded. We will be careful. Let's go. When Long Ruoxue and the others rushed to the area of the cannibal vines, they saw two people entangled in the vines. One of them was indeed the Feng family's first elder. Even though the cannibal vines were entangling them, they were still trying hard to get rid of them. Broken vines lay scattered all over the ground, and there were patches of black stains on the ground. First elder and grandpa. Feng Moran couldn't help exclaiming. He didn't expect the other person to be his grandfather. It's indeed that brat from the Feng family. Old man frowned. These cannibal vines were indeed troublesome. Two spiritual supremacies were entangled by them and couldn't break free. Shuer, what should we do? Feng Moran looked at Long Ruoxue in a daze. Even though the Feng family had not been good to him, his hatred for them had long disappeared with their fall. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't worried at all now that he finally saw his only remaining relatives. But he couldn't risk the lives of Shuer and the others. After all, Shuer was the most important to him. Big brother Feng, don't worry. We have to think of a good plan. Long Ruoxue comforted him and carefully examined the cannibal vines. Cannibal vines might be called vines, but they were actually large trees. Their branches were made of vines, each as thick as an adult's arm, and would probably be difficult to cut off with ordinary weapons. Moreover, cannibal vines should be spirit beasts of the plant system. But their level was very low, and they had yet to develop intelligence, so they relied on their instincts to hunt. Long Ruoxue pondered as she looked at the towering tree not far away. If she wasn't mistaken, the cannibal vines in this area should be branches of this tree. So as long as she destroyed this tree, the cannibal vines shouldn't be a threat. Grandpa, old man, Grandpa Lin, please attract the cannibal vines' attention. Charm and I will go and save them. Big brother Feng, stay here. Long Ruoxue quickly made the arrangements. Okay, Shuer. Be careful, Long Qingtian reminded worriedly. Shuer, they'll go with you? Feng Moran pulled Long Ruoxue, who was about to leave, back, his handsome face full of determination. Big brother Feng, cannibal vines are very troublesome. It will be inconvenient if there are too many people, so wait here and be good. Long Ruoxue said as if she was coaxing a child. All right, be careful. Feng Moran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Shuer was treating him like a child. Long Ruoxue nodded and gave Long Qingtian and the others a look. The three old men swaggered over to the cannibal vine, swaying back and forth arrogantly. The cannibal vine became excited when it found that more food was coming its way. It hurriedly waved its vines and attacked Long Qingtian and the others. General Long, quickly leave this place. The first elder hurriedly reminded Long Qingtian and the others when he saw them. First elder, stop shouting. Long Ruoxue quietly crept to the first elder's side and whispered, Ruoxue, what are you doing here? Leave this place quickly, the first elder shouted anxiously. To save you, of course, Long Ruoxue explained helplessly. Is this old man that shrewd first elder? Why did he become stupid? The first elder was stunned. He thought that Long Qingtian and the others had also barged in here by mistake. He didn't dare to think that they had specially come to save them. When he thought of this, a warm current instantly flowed through his heart. All along, he had always thought that he was experienced, knowledgeable, and had seen countless people. But he realized that he only truly saw the fickleness of human nature and the world after experiencing the upheaval of the family. Long Ruoxue took out her sword and slashed fiercely at the arm-thick vines. The vines binding the first elder were broken off with a bang. Then Long Ruoxue cut off the vines binding the Feng family patriarch and gave each of them a pill. The two of them took the pills and swallowed them without hesitation. The injuries and spiritual power in their bodies instantly recovered. They looked at Long Ruoxue with surprise and gratitude. They were about to say something, but Long Ruoxue stopped them. Leave this place quickly, Long Ruoxue reminded. Oh, right, the first elder quickly replied. This was indeed not a good place to talk. Grandpa, come back. Long Ruoxue shook her head when she saw the three people teasing the cannibal vine. She really didn't know what to do with the three old men. It was so dangerous here, but the three of them were having fun. Okay. The three of them retreated reluctantly. Shuer, shouldn't we kill this cannibal vine? Lung Qingtian asked curiously while looking at the shaking vines. This cannibal vine couldn't do anything to the three of them. Moreover, it was raging when it saw that the food it had caught had also disappeared. Chapter 209. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest. 4. We've rescued them. Let's leave this place quickly, Lung Ruoxue said. She was very kind. There must be a reason why this cannibal vine existed, so she should let it go for the sake of the balance of this forest. Okay, let's leave this place quickly. The first elder agreed with Lung Ruoxue. He didn't want to stay here for another moment. After leaving the territory of the cannibal vines, they found a safe place to rest. Ruoxue, I can't thank you enough for your kindness. Just tell me if you need my help in the future, the first elder said sincerely. If Lung Ruoxue and the others hadn't saved him and the patriarch, their 2 old lives would have been lost here. He really didn't know how to repay this life-saving favor. Thank you for saving us. Our Feng family is willing to follow Miss Lung's lead from now on, Feng Jing, the patriarch of the Feng family, suddenly said. During this long period of fleeing, he had heard Lung Ruoxue's great name often. When he saw her today, she was indeed extraordinary. Hee, you sure know how to plan. Old man let out a mocking chuckle. It wasn't so easy to want to become reliant on their little girl. Feng Jing blushed at old man's sarcasm and was at a loss for words. Hee, our Feng family has always been allies with Ruoxue. Now that the Feng family has fallen, it's only natural that we follow Ruoxue's lead, the first elder said to ease the tension. He was much more tactful and eloquent than Feng Jing, and his skin was also obviously much thicker. Moreover, he was 100% supportive of the patriarch's decision. First elder, what happened to the Feng family? Feng Moran, who had been silent, suddenly asked. Moran, are you and Aoran all right? The first elder asked with concern. We're fine, Feng Moran said quickly while looking at the first elder expectantly. Moran, we were hiding, but we didn't expect your uncle to sell us out. Alas, the Feng family suffered heavy losses, and only the patriarch and I escaped. His heart ached at the thought of the Feng family members who had died. Fortunately, he had sent away a group of people previously to preserve the last bit of the Feng family's bloodline. Moran, you haven't seen the patriarch for many years, right? The first elder pulled Feng Moran to Feng Jing. Grandpa, Feng Moran called out with a trembling voice. He had indeed not seen his grandfather for a long time. He only remembered that his grandfather doted on him a lot when he was young. Moer, you've suffered. Feng Jing looked at his grandson with concern. How is Feng Xiao doing now? Lung Ruoxue asked the first elder curiously when she saw Feng Moran and Feng Jing catching up. Dead. Killed by the patriarch himself, the first elder explained. Ruoxue had warned him before, but he hadn't immediately dealt with Feng Xiao because of the patriarch. Alas, speaking of it, he was also responsible for the Feng family's fall. First elder, does your patriarch love Big Brother Feng a lot? Lung Ruoxue asked. Yes, he is the eldest grandson after all. Since he loves Big Brother Feng so much, how could he allow him to be bullied? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Was it because of his aptitude? Ruoxue, the patriarch really dotes on Moran. But he went into seclusion more than a decade ago, so the affairs of the Feng family were managed by the second elder and the others. Later on, Feng Xiao became the acting patriarch, and he took care of the affairs of the Feng family. Therefore, the patriarch basically knew nothing about Moran's matter. It's not his fault. The first elder defended the patriarch. Alas, every family had its own difficulties. Even the patriarch wouldn't know everything like the back of his hand if no one told him. Moreover, the patriarch's mind was all on cultivation. After hearing what the first elder said, Lung Ruoxue didn't express her opinion. This was their family matter after all. What could an outsider like her say? Big sister, it's getting dark. Let's leave this place quickly. Inflame urged. There would be many poisonous creatures roaming around here at night. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded. After hearing Inflame's words, Lung Ruoxue and the others quickly left. First Elder, why are you here? Lung Ruashua asked while walking. It's all because we were forced to buy those spiritual deities. They were hunting us all the time, so we had no choice but to run into this place. After he and the patriarch ran in, they were a little puzzled as to why those people stopped chasing after them. They only found out about the perilous environment later on. How long have you been here? Lung Ruashua continued asking. Today is the third day. We didn't dare to venture too deep and could only stay at the edge. The first elder sighed helplessly. At least you still have some brains and know that you can't go in. The farther you go, the more poisonous creatures there will be. That's not something you can handle, Inflame praised. But his words didn't make the first elder happy at all. The first elder looked at the little green bird and felt depressed. Alas, he had lived for so long, but this was the first time a bird remarked that he had some brains. After listening to what Inflame said, Long Ruashu looked at the depressed first elder and was overjoyed. Inflame is really a treasure. But now, you don't have to be afraid since I, Inflame, am bringing you around, Inflame continued, his face full of pride. Even though he couldn't deal with those poisonous creatures, bringing them along on some relatively safe routes wasn't a problem. Can this little bird deal with those poisonous creatures? The first elder asked softly. No, he's still underage, Lung Ruashua said honestly. Then where does he get his confidence from? The first elder was a little speechless. This was the first time he had seen such an arrogant bird. The bird was even more arrogant than his spirit beast. Oh, by the way, Ruashua, the patriarchs and my spirit beasts are injured. Do you have any way to help? The first elder asked again while looking at Long Ruashua expectantly. Are their injuries serious? Long Ruashua asked. How big is this girl's storage ring? It was the first time that the first elder saw someone have these things in their storage ring. You can't abuse your stomach when you're outside. Lung Ruashua answered as if it was obvious and didn't feel like she was being extravagant at all. TCH, this is considered too little. We would be able to eat better food if you weren't here, old man thought. Alas, it seems like we can only spend the night outside. After dinner, they had one person keep watch while the others went to their tents to rest. After a peaceful night, Lung Ruashua and the others continued the next day. At this time, Muli and his group had already arrived at Dragon Island and were guarding the only route to Dragon Island, waiting for the rabbit to come. But after a few days of guarding, the rabbit hadn't come. The mink couldn't help feeling anxious. Little Muzi, go take a look. Why aren't they here yet? The silver mink ordered anxiously. Master, don't be anxious. They might be delayed by something, Muli quickly comforted. This master's temper had been growing these few days. Boo-hoo, it's so tough on me. Thinking of this, he couldn't help glaring fiercely at Huaqing and the mink who was actively working hard to pursue his master. What could happen? They left before us. We've arrived, but they haven't even shown up. The little silver mink roared furiously. Diaoer, don't be anxious. Anger is harmful to the body. Calm down. Shuair comforted Diaoer understandingly. Boo-hoo. His heart really ached to see Diaoer like this. Scram. The little silver mink kicked the snow mink away. Shuair rolled on the ground twice before running back with a bashful look on his face. Diaoer, I know you love me, Shuair said earnestly. His master said that hitting was like kissing and cursing was like loving. And he had always believed his master's words. Muli looked at the obviously sadistic mink and was at a loss for words. Huaqing, you are dead meat. This petty person won't let you go easily. If you dare to call me Diaoer again, I will turn you into a dead mink. The little silver mink threatened with raging flames in his eyes. He really hated his small body now. Boo-hoo. Ener, you're so fierce. Shuair said fearfully, immediately changing the way he addressed his beloved, while sneaking glances at his beloved from time to time. Damn it, you're not allowed to call me Ener either. The little silver mink roared furiously. If he was, he would definitely send the man and beast to hell. Then what should I call you? Shuair's heart was trembling, but he still mustered his courage to ask. Don't call me anything. The little silver mink kicked away Shuair, who was sticking to him. Oh, okay, Shuair obediently said and hid far away to peek. The little silver mink was speechless. This snow mink really resembles its master. Master, calm down. Don't be too angry and hurt your body. Mooli tried to hold back his laughter and tried to console him. Haha, this is too funny. Seeing his master's helpless expression and Shuair's relentless harassment, he almost died from laughter. Chapter 211. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix, 1. Little Moo-Zee, just you wait. The little silver mink glared and threatened him. Humph, how dare you laugh at me? Go to hell. Master, it has nothing to do with me. Mooli looked aggrieved and wanted to cry. He knew that it was wrong to laugh at him, but his master shouldn't use his position to take revenge. Anyway, you're dead. The little silver mink turned his little face away and didn't even look at Mooli, master. They'll go look for Longroshu, Mooli said ingratiatingly, hoping to make up for his mistakes so that his master wouldn't bear a grudge against him anymore. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up. Master, I'm going. Mooli quickly disappeared to avoid being implicated by the Master Beast duo. Longroshu's group walked for 2 days in Grief Remedy Forest and finally left the poisonous forest safely. Ruashue, where are we going? The first elder asked curiously. To my house, of course. And Flame interrupted. We're going to the Dragon Clan to save someone, Longroshu explained lightly. The Dragon Clan? The first elder was shocked. Were dragons so easy to provoke? They even wanted to save someone from the Dragon Clan. This, Brat Fong, if you're scared, you can go back the way you came. Old man provoked, gloating a little. The first elder quickly denied. Who said I was afraid? But where is Dragon Island? Can we find it? This little fellow will bring us there. Long Qingtian pointed at Inflame. Him? Does this little one really know? The first elder glanced doubtfully at the little green bird, somewhat skeptical. Stinky old man, you dare to look down on Inflame? Inflame roared angrily. How dare you look down on a mighty vermilion bird? Unforgivable. Inflame, be good. Hurry and bring Big Sister to Dragon Island. Longroshu caressed Inflame's head helplessly. It seemed like the Phoenix clan had bad tempers. Such a little fellow actually had such a fiery temper as well. Big Sister, we will reach the territories of the Dragon Clan and the Phoenix clan after crossing this sea, Inflame explained as he pointed at the vast sea in front of them. Hearing this, Longroshu looked up carefully at the rolling blue sea not far away. The sea seemed endless. Let's go, Longroshu said to everyone. She was burning with anxiety. Shuair, how do we cross the sea? Feng Moran asked curiously. Lek'll fly us over, Longroshu said after some thought. Normally, she might choose to make a ship, but she was now in a hurry to save someone, so she had to use the fastest method. Come on up. Quill immediately enlarged his body and stopped in midair. Quill, let's go. Yes, master. After seeing everyone sitting on him steadily, Quill immediately flapped his wings and flew into the blue sky. Inflame, how far away is it? The first elder couldn't help asking after flying for a day. Humph. Inflame won't tell you. Inflame turned his small head away, not looking at the first elder at all. He bore a grudge. Ah. The first elder looked away awkwardly. Boo-hoo. Haha. Longroshu and the others couldn't help laughing when they saw this. It also brought some joy to the dull sea flight. Master, there seems to be a situation up ahead, Quill suddenly said with a wary expression. What's the matter? Longroshu asked doubtfully. It should be sea beasts, Quill explained. Sea beasts. Longroshu frowned in thought. It would be very troublesome if they really encountered sea beasts. The so-called sea beasts referred to the spirit beasts in the sea. Spirit beasts in the water were different from spirit beasts on the ground. If humans didn't provoke land spirit beasts, most of them would not actively attack humans. But the sea beasts were different. Most sea beasts were barbaric and bloodthirsty, and they would even kill their own kind. Moreover, many sea beasts were amphibious. Big sister, let's bypass these sea beasts and not provoke them, Flame reminded. As a member of the Phoenix clan, he knew very well that these sea beasts, which were neighbors of the Phoenix clan, would treat any creature that passed through the sea as food. Lung Ruashue nodded and asked Quill, what are the sea beasts doing? Master, the sea beasts should be fighting over territory. Moreover, it's difficult to bypass them without being discovered, Quill said helplessly. The sea in front of them was densely packed with all sorts of sea beasts. Quill, let's take a look, Lung Ruashue suddenly said. She didn't want to be passive and wait for the sea beasts to finish fighting. Yes, master, Quill answered, but the sea beasts spotted him before he could fly close. Food is here, a sea beast shouted. Immediately, all the sea beasts' eyes, including the two sea beasts fighting, were attracted to Lung Ruashue and the others. Looks like we've been discovered, Old Man said excitedly, without any fear on his face. Yes, we've been discovered. These sea beasts are all very strong. Lung Qingtian echoed, his face full of eagerness. Lung Ruashue looked at her grandfather and Old Man with a dark face. Do you have to be so excited? Fighting with sea beasts on the sea surface won't give us any advantage. They are really humans. Are we still going to fight? An enormous sea python asked its opponent, a large fiery red crab. We aren't done yet, but you have ideas about these humans? The fiery red crab said disdainfully. But its peripheral vision was sneaking glances at Lung Ruashue and the others as well. Kill these humans first. We'll settle our scores later, the sea python suggested, and even swallowed its saliva exaggeratedly. I'm not interested in these humans. Go ahead and kill them if you want. The fiery red crab said indifferently. These humans were not to be trifled with. The eagle's level alone was above its own. Moreover, they had a vermilion bird of the Phoenix clan by their side, so it didn't want to provoke the extremely protective lunatics of the Phoenix clan. Chapter 212, Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix, 2, Humph, Coward, the sea python said disdainfully. It knew that this stinky crab didn't dare to provoke the Phoenix clan. But after killing these humans and then getting rid of the crabs afterward, who would know that it was the one who did it? Seems like they're discussing how to eat us. Lung Ruashue said calmly, her face full of anticipation. Little sea snake, don't disappoint me. Master, let's kill all these sea beasts. They're an eyesore. Rise, who was hanging around Lung Ruaksha's wrist, narrowed his eyes in disdain as he stared at the sea python floating in the sea below. A mere reptile actually dared to have any ideas about them. It was really asking for death. That's what I was thinking. Lung Ruashue nodded. She originally wanted to bypass them, but these sea beasts came knocking on her door to court death. She couldn't be blamed. But spirit beasts in the water were very difficult to deal with, and it was impossible for them to enter the water. So what should they do? While Lung Ruashue was thinking of a tactic, the sea pythons had already launched an attack on them. Quill, hold yourself steady. Well, attack, Lung Ruashue said to Quill. Yes, master. Quill carried Lung Ruashue and the others while keeping their bodies steady and avoiding the attacks of the sea pythons. From the sea, water swords were shooting at them one after another as all the sea pythons were attacking. Schwer, what should we do now? Lung Qingtian asked hurriedly after evading a water sword. Due to the numerous sea pythons, they had to dodge continuous water swords one after another. They were too busy evading and had no chance to fight back. Rise, do you have a way to control the mental strength of these sea beasts? Lung Ruashue asked. Master, there are too many of them. There's nothing I can do, Rise said gloomily. He had just said that he wanted to kill all these sea beasts, but he was reduced to such a sorry state by them in the blink of an eye. Boo-hoo. am a divine beast. What should we do? Lung Ruoxue frowned slightly and pondered. The sea was the world of sea beasts. They had no advantage at all in the sea despite their strength, and these sea beasts were obviously not planning to let them go. Alas, the pressure of the divine beasts wasn't very useful against these sea beasts now. All of you, release your might. Lung Ruoxue thought for a while and moved all the divine beasts out of the space. She didn't believe that she couldn't scare these sea beasts with so many divine beasts. My king, they have so many divine beasts, a sea python said with a trembling body. Its level was too low. With the might of so many divine beasts, it was a little unbearable even with the resistance of the sea water. What are you afraid of? Even if they have a lot of divine beasts, they can't do anything to us in the sea, the sea python king said nonchalantly. Although it was a level 9 holy beast, the strength that land divine beasts could unleash at sea was at most the same as it, or even inferior to it. Otherwise, why would it be so fearless? Attack now, Lung Ruoxue said after exchanging glances with everyone. They would deal with the small ones first, and then deal with the biggest one. Everyone and the beasts nodded and launched their strongest attack at the same time. Colorful spiritual powers rained down on the sea beasts, and half of them died in an instant. Eha! Humans, I'm going to kill you all. The sea python king let out a strange cry from its mouth after being completely enraged by the death of so many of its subordinates. Master, it's summoning more subordinates. We have to kill it, Rise reminded. Rise, can you kill the sea python king? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. Flood dragons should know how to swim, right? Master, I'm not a water dragon, Rise said, a little ashamed. Boo-hoo. He was a dry duck and hated water the most. Lung Ruoxue was also a little dumbfounded. This was the first time she knew that there was a flood dragon that didn't know how to swim. Schwer, what is that? Lung Qingtian suddenly pointed at the colorful light balls shining in the distance. Lung Ruoxue looked in the direction her grandfather was pointing and saw the colorful light balls flying over from afar. What is that? Big sister, they're from my clan. They're here to help us. Inflame danced around joyfully with a face full of excitement. The Phoenix clan? Lung Qingtian and the others were surprised. Lung Ruoxue and the others finally saw them clearly when the colorful light balls approached. They were not balls of light at all, but beautiful phoenixes shining with colorful rays of light. No wonder it was said that phoenixes were the most beautiful spirit beasts. They indeed lived up to their reputation. Inflame. The leading fire phoenix flew in front of Lung Ruoxue and the others, her face full of concern as she looked at the little green vermilion bird, but her tone was stern. Mother, boo-hoo. Mother is so fierce. Inflame was so scared that he hurriedly hid behind Lung Ruoxue to seek protection, and he even poked his cute little head out from time to time. Lung Ruoxue looked at Inflame with some amusement, and then she turned her gaze to the incomparably beautiful fire phoenix in front of her. She was really a beautiful bird. Her body was mainly red, and her tail feathers were colorful. Her entire body was burning with fiery red flames, but surrounding the flames were shining colorful lights. Moreover, this bird was a divine beast. I am Phonelinger 1, Inflame's mother. Thank you for saving Inflame, Phonelinger said gratefully. Inflame had already told her what had happened when he sent her a voice transmission just now. So her attitude toward Lung Ruoxue and the others was very good. I am Lung Ruoxue. They are my family and friends, Lung Ruoxue explained simply. Phonelinger nodded at everyone in a friendly manner before turning her fierce gaze to the sea pythons. How dare you? You even wanted to kill my child. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. The sea python king smiled wretchedly as its little heart beat rapidly. Boo-hoo, why am I so unlucky to have provoked this ancestor? But it really couldn't understand how that green vermilion bird could be this violent woman's child. Was it a genetic mutation? 1. In Chinese, Phone means Phoenix. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.